to make a name for yourself like you never made before.
If he kicks this goal, Hawthorn are in the grand final. Here is the magician at work.
He should kick it. Up he comes. He kicks on.
You've got to show me all the guts and all the determination you've got in your body. You've got to inspire me.
At least you can come off and say, I did this, or I played on. At least I did something.
It's another day of celebration as football's oldest player, Craig Bradley, gets set for game number 350. And here he is coming onto the ground with children Jake and Casey. And coming through the Carlton banner, what a day for it. Blues taking on the mighty Bombers, becoming the 8th player to join the 350 club. Round 18, the Bombers and the Blues both coming off losses, and it should be a fantastic match. An amazing career for Craig Bradley, who turns 38 in October, and at the moment there's no sign that his career is about to slow down. A very special day for a special man. Age 37, 235 goals. The premierships, of course, back in 87 and 95, the best and fairest, and the All-Australian. And don't forget, 98 games with Port Adelaide in the SANFL. It's an amazing list of statistics for an amazing player. Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the MCG. And Paul Salmon, a special day for Craig Bradley, but so much at stake for both the Blues and even the Bombers as they try and fine-tune themselves for the finals.
Certainly is. It's a pretty critical run home for both these clubs. More so for Carlton, of course, trying to establish themselves in the top 4. This guy here today, look, he's a great champion, and you can't speak highly enough of his consistency over the long journey. And you know, there's even talk about him going on next year. But I think his main focus will be, of course, today, critical 4 points for the Blues, and of course, leading them into another final series.
Well, remember back to round 3, it was an extraordinary game, wasn't it, earlier this year? We know the history between these two sides immense. On this particular occasion, Craig Bradley wasn't there, neither was Silvani or Koutafidis, but somehow the Blues got up to win.
It was quite incredible. It's one of the most unexpected victories a club will ever have. Those players mentioned pulled out pretty late. I don't think Sheeds would be happy with that. I think we would call in the post-match that not super impressed the Bombers they were at the Blues that night. A bit of ducks and drakes, but that is fantastic enthusiasm there. If they can reproduce that today, we're going to have a cracker game in our hands, Hutto, and you can't help but look forward to this.
Well, on that occasion, everyone tipped Essendon with those players out. This is another reason to tip Essendon pretty confidently today. The Blues' recent form, we know they've been undermanned. They've got some of their stars back, but their form has been pretty ordinary. It
has been a bit ordinary, and they really have needed... They've lost balance with the players they've been missing, the Whitnells and the Koutafidis, the Porters, these sorts of players. So they do look a better side on paper today. The 75-point win over Fremantle was a very good one. Last week against the Hawks, were unlucky. There's no doubt about that. After the siren goal, they probably had that game pinched.
Well, what about last week for the Bombers? They lost to Port Adelaide. Matty Lloyd said during the week perhaps a bit of complacency. Kevin Sheedy, he agreed and said they haven't quite yet got it right so far.
No, they haven't, and he'll want to correct this pretty quickly.
It's going to improve. So whatever we've done so far, I believe we could improve. And but we've got a fair way to go yet ourselves. You know, we need the next sort of quarter of the season to just make sure we're spot on in all ways.
Let's have a look at the Bombers lineup over the next 4 weeks. What a game that now shapes to be against Sydney.
It certainly does, and Sydney are the form side in the competition at the moment. They just won their 5th on the trot last night, and looking forward to that. But beyond that, it's round 22 we might look forward to. Richmond. That could be a great game also.
Well, there's a few coaching jobs up for grabs at the moment. Maybe you're putting your hand up today. We're going to have a look at the lineups as Paul Salmon predicts shortly. Matthew Lloyd out there, of course, getting ready for the game. You've named him, obviously, at full forward. Now, Manton has played him in the past. Maybe it'll be Silvani today. Yeah,
I think the tools of the Essendon forward line are going to really stretch the Blues back line. Manton has often taken a tall, but as you said, he's done a good job on Lloyd in the past. And if he doesn't get him, I think Silvani will go to Alessio. Beaumont on Hurd, I'm looking forward to that matchup. Beaumont did a pretty good job on him last time. Mackay and Lucas is another one I'm looking forward to. Through the middle, this is where it could get interesting because there's lots of different configurations here. But I think Heffernan will get the job on Bradley. Ratton, he's just in such good touch at the moment. Ramanauskas maybe, we'll have to wait and see on that one. Moving forward into the Blues forward line, Whitnell back. I'm not sure we'll go the distance at centre forward today, Hutto.
That is a big risk than bringing Whitnell back. He's well ahead of schedule. Now, the interesting thing from my point of view is the Bombers this year, they've gone with Heffernan in defence, but he was dropped this week. They've gone back almost to their original 6 from last week, certainly 5 last year. Certainly Wellman, Solomon, Barnard, Fletcher and Hardwick.
Yeah, look, Hardwick and Lappin will be an interesting matchup. There are plenty of other options for Lappin, even Wellman, because he's been taking some smalls. But he's a good touch too, and I think Porter will start on the ground. Allen's starting on the bench. They're easing him back in, Hutto, and I think that's wise. But on paper, it looks like a pretty good lineup, doesn't it?
Well, we'll see how you go as a coaching audition. Fish, Tony Shaw will join us after the break too. Prime members of the Essendon team are getting ready. We'll take a break, and it's the Bombers and the Blues. What about that man? After the break.
The big news at Harvey Norman is 24 months interest-free terms. That's right, 24 months interest-free terms on electrical appliances, computers and accessories. Now's the time to buy a TV, video, stereo, video camera, fridge, freezer, washer, dryer, computer, printer, fax machine, photocopier or mobile phone. What a deal! 24 months interest-free terms available now on electrical appliances and computers from Harvey Norman.
So it's a bit gloomy and overcast at the MCG with a bit of rain around. But what a sight it is. We're expecting close to capacity this afternoon. Dustin Fletcher hasn't had the greatest of years. Good afternoon to Tony Shaw. And Shawry, what about the decision to bring Whitnell and Cooter and all those players back at once for the Blues?
Yeah, good afternoon, Hutto. Well, it is a bit of a risk, I'd say. The experienced Carlton are thinking might get him over the line in this game. Hopefully they can hit some good form. Mark Porter, Whitnell, Freeborn's back in the side. And also there's been doubts about Anthony Koutafidis. They are all out there.
And down to Dougie on the boundary line.
Yeah, good afternoon, Hutto. Fish, Shawry. Should be a great game. Probably if it does start raining, which I think it will, be an 8-10 goal game here, no doubt about that. And I think Silvani will start forward. And congratulations to Craig Braddley playing 350. Only great players play 350. Back to you, Hutto.
Oh, beautifully done, Dougie. Manton has got Lloyd. Cooter starting in the square for the Blues. We're ready to go at the MCG. What will this chapter in this history have for us today? Porter back into the team and into the ruck. Not a great deal going on from the opening bounce. Wellman. Oh, Solomon it was that went down in dramatic style, but the free kick's gone for a high tackle Carlton's way. Bradley in game 350 gets the first significant kick. And Freeborn takes the mark. Lappin back in the square. Cooter leading out to the 50, doubling back. Whitnell's down there as well. Went shorter, so Wellman has got the job on Whitnell. And the ball over the boundary line and out of bounds.
He has, Hutto, and Heffernan has gone to Lappin, which is interesting. Also, we've got Silvani and Lucas, which is a very interesting matchup in the Bombers forward half. And Manton has gone to Lloyd.
So Whitnell used the body and gave away the free kick. Barnes to take it. Moving it quickly for the Bombers. Solomon's going to have to come back.
It'll be very interesting early in this game to see these two sides sort themselves out. Both professional units. Expect them to set a cracking pace.
McVeigh with the tagging job on Camporelli. Ramanauskas makes a lead through the middle of the ground. Goes for Solomon instead. Low kick. Doubling back, Moorcroft. This is McKay under some pressure. Got the ball back quickly. It was a bit wild and woolly. Barnard hacking it forward. And the ball goes over the line and out of bounds.
Barnard's also started forward for the Bombers, so that's an interesting move. He obviously is a goal kicker. And Bradley's just moving back into the Blues forward half to be picked up, it looks like, by Hardwick. So it's already a game of chess between these two coaches.
Porter used the body pretty well, then cleared the path. Camporelli, Silvani just gave it to Beaumont. Good kick for position. Lappin, he works so far up the ground. Heffernan with the job on him this afternoon. Bradley, we saw him in the goal square a few moments ago. He leads right up in front of Lappin. Out to a big pack on the wing. Whitnell is the target. Wellman to spoil. Used the body beautifully, then Lance. Wheels around. Pinpoint kick was meant for Fletcher. Didn't get anywhere near him. Caracella as the Bombers switch play. Fletcher's got a couple to work with on the wing. One of them is Barnes. Surprise, surprise. The other is Jason Johnson. Freeborn worked pretty well. Johnson got away though. Numbers went out and he knew that he could get clear. Mercury for the first goal of the afternoon. Second time lucky. Yes! Mark Mercury kicks the goal.
Well, a great start for the Bombers there. That was a quick transition from half back, and certainly Freeborn did everything he could to try and prevent that turnover, but Johnson too strong down low. And that's a great finish from Mercury. Just look on the replay here. Barnes has just missed a shepherd there. Freeborn takes the body and just nearly does a great job there for the Blues. But Johnson breaking clear, getting his feet quickly. And a wonderful finish. This is trademark Mark Mercury, isn't it? Steadies from 45 out and splits the middle.
Michael Mansfield's got the big job on Mercury today. Mercury's been down on form in the last month, so a very important player to the Bombers.
Well, Porter came in late then, but got the tap. Whitnell's moved all right so far. And now the Blues going forward. High tackle on Camporelli. Advantage paid. Whitnell's got a chance. He's got a big chance. And he's kicked a goal. Emphatic stuff from Lance.
Wow, what an answer. What a quick reply. Lance actually started off the, not the front of the square, but the side of the square in the half or flank wing area. Rushed in quickly. That's a wonderful opening. Camporelli got one eye here. The umpire did the right thing, called advantage, Shorey, and it opened Whitnell's opportunities right up. And the big fella couldn't have asked for a better start to the day, could he?
Well, Sean Wellman's been playing nearly as a wingman for the Bombers. Now he's got to pick up Whitnell. It means he's got to put some defensive thought process into that man, and he's a dangerous forward. So yeah. Sean Wellman, he has to pick up his game and make sure he does defend against a player like Lance Whitnell.
A lot going on in the goal square. See Bradley, I think he's trying to get under Caracella. Caracella getting onto Bradley now, out of the middle. Camporelli. So the Blues have settled pretty well after Essendon kicked the first goal. And it looks like we're in for one of those terrific struggles between these two sides. Masidi. Lucas. Oh, extra shove from Silvani. He's going to pay the penalty for it. The physical element of this game is going to be very interesting.
Well, that was undisciplined by Steve Silvani. That's going to be out of bounds.
Well,
both players were over the line.
It was smothered by Silvani. The kick goes to centre half-forward Francina, an unlikely player in the mix of all that. I'm sure he's probably trying to get onto Caracella. Bradley flicked it out the back, and there is the man Caracella, who's been one of the Bombers' best this year. Fletcher, wobbly kick out wide. Barnard and Hardwick teaming up. Still it's going on behind play. Bombers getting it to half forward. Alessio, Houghton is his opponent.
Well done, Seth.
Yeah, very well done. McVeigh floated it for Barnard. Traffic went past and he gets it into Hurd. He's got two to beat. Porter to try and spoil, and did that very well.
He did, didn't he, Hutto? He just worked so hard to get back there to give Beaumont a helping hand, assist him, because James Hurd one-on-one's a tough proposition, but Porter worked very hard, and it's good early signs for the big fella as well, having missed a little bit of football recently.
A great matchup. Rat and Masidi are going head-to-head today.
That's good to see, isn't it?
Weather could play a part if we get some rain this afternoon. Beaumont, as always, with the job on Hurd.
Fair bit of feeling already. You can sense that I mean business, these two teams. There's Matty Allen on the bench. Plunkett, looks like Houlihan. And of course,
Prendergast,
yep.
Hurd wrapped up straight away. That's a throw. And the umpire spotted it.
You're on your game early, Hutto. Well done.
Mansfield. A lot of players out on that wing. It was over Silvani. Said always favoured Lucas. Was trying to get Koutafidis into the game, I think. Lucas has got penetration on it. Barnes is down there with Houghton at the back. Lloyd. Rice under pressure. Was it holding the ball? It wasn't. It won't matter. Barnard kicks the goal.
Well, Lucas has done the right thing there, Hutto. He's taken a good grab in the first instance over the back of the pack. But you've really got to cover his left side, because he just swings into that left foot, does a good kick right to the hot spot there. Interesting, not much of a contest. And it's Moorcroft who's done the hard work there, the 1%er. It allows Barnard to sweep and mop up and kick a very convincing goal. So Barnard's move to the forward line has paid off already for the Bombers.
2-1 at the MCG. Porter beaten conclusively that time. Hickmott, Fletch out wide. Now Camporelli, he has got space to burn in here on the wing, and that's what he does best. Cooter leads in the goal square. Bradley goes a little bit shorter. Unlikely leader Franchina, working hard for it, but didn't have much to go to. Lucas, who's been to all parts of the field so far. Carousella under the gun. Lappin did a good job. Bit of an initial fumble, but here's Lucas again, getting the possession, driving. It wasn't a great kick because Hickmott's so strong at the contest. Whitnell coming through. Hickmott, persistence pays, and Hickmott kicks across the face. Cooter, brought it in. Lappin's a specialist at that, and it's 2 goals all.
Well, that was a dangerous piece of football. A couple of mistakes there by Lucas Shoring. First the handball, had to mop up, which he did well, but tried to spot up Masudi. The kick had to go long because he's 3-on-1. He was all sorts of trouble, wasn't he?
And just then Hickmott kicks to the line. Now this is where Kevin Sheedy would not be happy. That had to go through, but the presence of Cooter kept it a live fish. And Lappin, he's been in great form. Mark Johnson, who's out in this game, would have normally end up on.
Would have had him, wouldn't he?
On Lappin.
Would have. You've got to watch Camporelli. He's breaking very aggressively out in the middle.
Ramanaskas has got Camporelli, and he's already had 4 possessions so far.
Watch him out of the middle here. Breaks out to the fat side of the ground as a link-up option.
2 goals all. Appetising start. Masidi getting it in there quickly. Look at Hurd. He was so strong through the air, but just couldn't complete the job. Fletcher. McKay. Whitnell beaten for it by Wellman. That's where he should win the battles, when the ball's out in front and they've got to run for it. And Wellman gets it to the line.
Scotty Lucas has had 4 possessions also. He's going up the field.
Look at this, Shorey.
A good jump from an old fellow. You call him an old fellow now, a veteran of the game. But Scotty Lucas is causing some trouble for Steve Silvani.
Prendergast coming onto the ground for Carlton. I think it was Houghton that went off. We'll check that.
Yeah, that's right, boys. Houghton's having a bit of a spell. And you're right, Prendergast coming for his first run.
Kuta Fedes has pushed down to pick up Alessio as a tall defender.
And Prendergast has gone forward, has he?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind Houghton on Alessio though, Fish.
Fletcher's got him.
Houghton on Alessio. I know Alessio is giving away a lot of height, but he doesn't mark over his head enough for a big fellow, I think.
Not enough. Can be exposed at ground level.
Yeah.
Also, they wanted to get Kuta back for whatever reason at this early stage.
I don't know why, because he just set that goal up by outpointing 2 Essendon players.
Porter gets it in quickly. Hardwick over the top. And keep it alive, the Blues. Tackling, and the ball is over the line now and out of bounds.
One of the reasons maybe sure that Fletcher has been on top of him early. I know it's only very early, but get a bit of it. It is. I think they want to get the matchup with Fletcher right. They might want to drag Fletcher out of position a bit, and Prendergast has got the job there. Maybe just to be a dummy forward.
Wellman over the top. Ratton. We saw last week how dangerous he is around goals. That's a throw.
In the back. Always wanted that title. Fish, you had it a few times, a dummy forward, didn't you?
Had it for 13 years.
Carried it well. Short kick. Ratton takes the mark.
So that sort of comments aren't necessary.
Certainly the first part of it anyway. Quick kick in from Ratton. Wobbly one for Bradley. Had the ball out of bounds.
This promises to be an engrossing affair already, doesn't it, Shorey? Because a lot of juggling with the matchups already. There's Ratton on screen. Haven't seen a lot of him yet, but he's been well covered early. So going head-to-head with Masudi. But it's going to be very interesting to see how this all pans out.
4 ruckman at that boundary throw in. Oh, a handball from Hickmott stolen by Masudi. Good combination. Solomon on the end of it has been in good touch. Out in front of Hurd. This will give him room to work in. Beaumont pursues, and he did pretty well. Made him do the U-turn. Kicks it down long, and that's good play by the Carlton defence. And Cooter getting back, can switch it quickly for McKay. He's a bit offline with the kick, but it's just all right. There's not much on for McKay over the top.
He's going to have to wait here and sit.
Well, he didn't wait too long. Porter was out in front. Barnes got to it, went to ground. Freeborn trying to lock him up. Blues had numbers out the back of the contest. Mansfield, what was he doing? There was a whistle there.
It's up behind play.
Yeah, it is too.
Solomon, Hickmott
It looks like two, Shorey.
Is it going to be a Carlton ball way down the ground?
I think to Hickmott against Solomon. Hickmott's saying run forward to all these players because he's got the ball here, and Fletcher's done that. He will be free by about 40 yards.
There's Barnes got to cover the mark here. Right onto that, Shorey.
Picking up Camperale at this stage. Ramanas has been moved away from Camperale.
So a free kick up on the wing to Hickmont, and already there's a bit happening at the MCG. Oh, Heffernan, gee, got rid of Lappin. The umpire said it was okay. Fletcher went to ground. Numbers with the Blues. Francina, how's he shot at goal? It is pretty good, and the Blues are in front.
Well, you don't need those sort of turnovers, do you, Shorey? And none of the players were onto it except the Carlton half-forward line, but Hickmont was the recipient of the turnover free kick. For what reason we're not unsure of. But look, nothing at ground level at the back of the pack except Fletcher, and a really good job on Ratton again. Isn't he good in that area? And a great finish there too. And the Blues 6 points up already.
Dustin Fletcher had to turn the momentum of that ball, didn't he, Fish? Maybe pull it in and tap it back, but it kept rolling towards goal.
So the Bombers being questioned early here. Johnson out of the middle, forced just a handball into the space. Fletcher, well, terrific play by Fletcher under pressure to get that away to Freeborn. Silvani into the game. Camperale, McVeigh running beside him. That's a good kick too. Prendergast, we already see how far away he is leading Dustin Fletcher. So that does seem to be the motive behind Prendergast coming on, and Koutafidis going into defence. Whitnell was the target. Lappin, Ratton, and it's out of bounds.
Well, there's some merit isn't there, Shorey? Taking Fletcher away from the full back line, bring him up around half forward, make him work as a defender, and put him in a bit of foreign territory.
They must have a lot of confidence in young Prendergast to do that, because you're playing on an all-Australian full back. But yeah, good plan. We'll see how it pans out, as you said, Fish.
Wellman, perhaps leg there, and that's the way the umpire sees it. So Sean Wellman goes just a medium range kick for Mercury. Mansfield watching him this afternoon, and not a great kick, out of bounds.
The Blues are dominating in the middle of the ground, 5-1 in centre bounce clearances.
We certainly look at the lineups before the game, and on paper the Blues have got close to their best lineup out there, haven't they? I guess the question was over the fitness, and that might tell as the game wears on. Rice. Solomon from behind, Hickmont. Oh, geez, having an influence at the moment. Might have just hurt himself there.
He's lost his footing, Solomon, approaching that contest, and he's taken Hickmont's feet from under him. Landed pretty heavily.
Just sends it in there long. Fletcher in the play this time. Prendergast able to spoil. Caracella sweeping it. He looked up and he just wasn't sure. He had the two options out wide and he couldn't hit a target. Fletcher did the shepherding, allowed Porter to get through. 2-on-1 here for the Blues. Oh, a bit of a fumble initially from Prendergast. The young man, what will he do? He's going for the Ronnie Burns kick and he doesn't quite make it. Fumble from Dustin Fletcher. Big chance for the Blues. Gee, that would have hurt the Bombers. That would have really hurt them at this very early stage. Solomon kicks for the space and the run of Lucas. Now the numbers with Essendon. It's 2-on-1. Lucas had time to steady and gets it in for the ranging Hurd. Oh, who misjudged it? McVeigh judged it well. Judged it very well. And levels the score again. What a start.
What a starter, right, Hutto. This is fantastic football from both sides. I was just about to comment that the Bombers look a little bit rattled, particularly with their run out of defence, Shorey, but they just don't look their normal, aggressive, attacking self with the wrist. But Carlton are really doing a great job at all the contests, and McVeigh's gone to Camperale now, so he's going to make him work. He's going to make him work defensively, which is a good ploy. He's got a big job on his hands, young McVeigh. Good goal.
Well, that only works because Camperale had 5 possessions on Ramanascus, so they've made a change. You'd have to say McVeigh's ahead in that contest, even though it's only been for a minute, with a goal to his favour.
Allen on the ground now for the Blues. Moorcroft kick smothered. Nasiti gets it in there. Mercury, tough bounce. Mansfield very quick with the disposal. Fletcher likewise had to release it. Gives the Bombers a chance. Mercury back for Hurd. Slipped over, or was he legged? Got it quickly in, and Johnson takes the mark. And things can just turn so quickly, can't they?
Well, particularly with the Bombers, Hutto, it's that sort of side. They'll open you up if you give them half a sniff, but the balance that James Hird there was fantastic. He did lose his footing here, but his poise just to get up, find his feet, and if in doubt, put it to the hot spot. And Johnson had pushed forward there. And there may be a pattern starting to develop with the ruckman.
Barnes off.
Yes, and Alessio came on with Allen there, so maybe that is a pairing for the day.
Yep. Scotty Freeborn's got the big job on Jason Johnson. I'd say Jason Johnson would be the top 4 best players at Essendon at the moment, Fish.
Fair enough.
He's kicked 18 goals, 14 for the year, and that one's online as well. So the Bombers go back in front.
He's more than that. He's also the #1 centre clearance player in the competition. He had 28 touches last week in a losing game, but this guy is so important to them, Shorey. And if he can sneak down and get a goal a week, which he's averaging at the moment, he's an enormously valuable player, isn't he?
Well, Scotty Freeborn didn't react from the centre bounce quick enough. Look, this was too easy. 2 players could have marked that ball on that occasion without any pressure. And Scotty Freeborn, you know, you've got to, once the ball is cleared from the centre bounce, you have to react quicker than that and make sure you get goal side of your opponent.
So they're still fighting and scrapping behind play in the Carlton forward line. Meantime, back in the centre, Alessio dishing it to Johnson. The space out in front of Barnard. McKay over the line and out of bounds. We haven't seen much yet of Lloyd versus Manton, have we?
There's been some rivalry with these 2 teams, but there's also become match-up rivalries, and that was one, Manton and Lloyd. You just wouldn't think Glenn Manton could go with Lloyd in the one-on-one, but he's done a great job in the last 2 games.
Well, Lloyd hasn't found much space yet. He hasn't been allowed much opportunity, so we'll see how the game thins out over a period of time.
Hickman on top of it. More Bombers there than Blues. Hird slipped over a couple of times now. Centering kick from Lucas. Fletcher in best position. Uses Ratton. Doesn't have any outriders. So he had to hold on to it and go for McKay. And now Lappin is on for the switch, but it's a tight...
Good kick.
It was a tight kick required, and that's what he did.
Had to be spot on, didn't it?
Silvani.
He's got lots of space to work in. Silvani can run here. Whitnell leads for him. Could have gone to him. Now Whitnell has to double back and lead into the 50. Silvani hesitated. Got it. Well, he didn't quite get it right in the end, the Blues. Feel a bit sorry for Whitnell on that occasion. McGrath on the ground. Poor kick. Gave the chance for Hickmott, who was so strong that he almost cleaned up Brett Ratton. Rice. Double take. Cooter squeezed in amongst the Cavill. Pay the mark. He did. Can't play advantage, Brett.
Well, the Bombers just with a couple of kicks forward there. One's from Johnson coming out of the centre, and then from McGrath. Just weren't on the mark. They have to be against a side like Carlton. And they may pay dearly for it, but isn't that great to see Cooter attacking the ball like that? Already Lucas has got 6 touches early in this game, but that's a good mark by Cooter. He's really met it hard.
He's going to test Steve Silvani. I'm watching Silvani. He's got his hands on his hips and he's blowing heavily, Fish. He's up the ground like a ruck rover, Lucas.
He's always got his arms on his hips, sorry.
Nah, but he is blowing, I can tell you.
Hickmott's got a lot of the ball early as well, 8 touches.
Solomon.
It was a pretty dangerous option, that one. The idea, I guess, was okay. So the Bombers can clear it now. Mercury. Quick kick, good smother. So it's still in the hot spot, the danger area. Had a bit of a run-up, Allen. Had enough chance to get leverage on the kick. Just couldn't swing it back. And that is the first imperfection in front of goal of the game so far. 4 straight to 3-1.
Well, Hutto, this forward-line pressure the Blues are placing is pretty good early in the game. They're keeping the Bomber backs very honest. They're not going to find much space.
Fletcher, by the time he's kicked it, we're right to the wing. Wellman was in great position. And opposite namesake Fletcher did really well. He did an excellent job, Simon Fletcher, with the Bombers able to move it on. Ramanauskas too slow.
Oh, Bradley.
Too slow.
No, Hickmott.
To get rid of it.
Well, that had to hit his boot then, because he tried to kick the ball, but it never made contact with the boot, so it is dropping the ball.
Koutafidis takes the mark. Prendergast well up the ground. We know, as we said, that he's trying to run Fletcher around and take him away from the key area and attack. Goes very wide, and Franchina takes it over the line and out of bounds.
Well, Fletcher was caught well off him. He's back in defensive 50 at the moment to fill the hole. But Cooter's bobbed up in the last few moments, and maybe becoming apparent they're trying to free him up a little bit.
Alessio from behind. Cooter over the top. Solomon. Freeborn. Oh, a chance for the Blues. And guess who? Brett Ratton takes the mark.
Joe Mercedes, very poor defensive work by Joe Mercedes then. Had to be goal side, went to the pack, and Ratton pushed forward from that contest. You know, to kick a goal like that is just too easy.
So Brett Ratton, we saw him kick a magnificent goal last week. Kicked 18 goals going in today. Now you can make it 19, and the Blues are back in front.
Well, this guy's so dangerous, and look, it'd be great as a spectacle if the contest remains the Nasudi Ratton one, but I tell you what, this fella Ratton is just so smart. You see him in the contest there, and he's floated out of it. He's nicked off out the back door, if you like to call that, and there he is. And Mercedes lost him in traffic. He's too good with his hands. He's too good between the ears. Going to keep Mercedes on his toes today.
You just see how Carlton see Damien Hardwick. They've got Franchina trying to tag Caracella, and Bradley's gone to play full forward against Hardwick.
Lovely tap work, sorry, Shorey.
You're right.
Yeah, they've been at it right since the start, Shorey, with those 4 players. Wellman just made a little mistake, and gee, Hickman is so desperate. He's forced the ball loose, given Carlton an opportunity. Nick Johnson in return. Franchina, gee, they're scrapping for it. It's great stuff. Solomon, usually good in the clinches, jumped on top of it there. Better watch out then, Solomon. You are gone. Might have been a bit rough, but he made the mistake of really jumping on top of it.
Gee, you called Hickman there, Hutto, and a great call it was too. He's actually created this opportunity for the Blues.
Dean Solomon has had a pretty rough first quarter. Hickman's given it to him.
What chance Scott Camper rally from 55? He gives it everything. It's right to the line, and it just couldn't make it through. Still there, Lappin, he'll kick that. No worries about that. That's 2. That's a replay of his first.
Well, it certainly was a replay, Hutto. It's the Bombers again on goal line, sure. He couldn't force it across, as you pointed out earlier in the match, and they paid dearly for it again.
That is a cardinal sin, and I'd say coaches, when you're in the coach's box, would be pulling your hair out, because you just got to get it over the line somehow. That was, you can see Dean Solomon, no doubt, a holding the ball decision. And you know, Fish, the ruckman's got to get in there. You've got to have 5 blokes up if you can get them up there. That was about 2 metres out, and again, just a great ground level kick from. He's on Heffernan at the moment, so 2 goals to Lappin very early in this game.
Heffernan's just got to wear him.
Yep.
He's had a marvellous year, hasn't he, Matty Lappin? 34 goals. 5-1, plays 4 straight. Allen getting the tap. Ratton riding the bump. And the Blues winning at the coalface just at the moment. Mercedes. And they wrap him up. Again, they wanted a free that time. Not so.
Sure, I tell you, Hickman is fired up today, isn't he?
Well, he's had such an impact. 10 possessions. He's just one of those in-betweens type players too, isn't he, Hickman? Mobile enough, but also a marking presence. And tough around the packs. Rice involved, the Bombers able to jar it clear, and now maybe he can get some run. Kick from Ramanauskas, right towards Lloyd. Welcome Matty into the game. Couldn't take the mark. Silvani there to recover. Working overtime. Lucas right there with him. McKay, they're backing up all right at the moment, the Blues. Starting to run. Ratton so good with the hands. McKay breaks the tackle with ease. Houlihan leads for him into the space. Whitnell wants it in the goal square. Now he makes his lead. He doubles back, Lance, into the pocket. He demands it. He runs back. He pushed off Wellman, then he fell over. He fell on his butt. The ball goes close to the boundary line, and that might have been out of the full. Bad luck, Lance.
Well, there's some boys out there having trouble keeping their feet today. There might be some boot changes at quarter time, sure.
Yep. Dean Solomon's got a new opponent, and that was Houlihan, who got that kick into the forward line.
5-1 to 4 straight. 7 points the difference at the MCG. Getting late in this opening quarter. Fletcher for the Bombers, out wide, looking for Wellman. Oh, desperation from Mansfield. Solomon, been pretty good so far. McCurry, who kicked the first goal. Barnard, all under pressure. Blues, always in danger of taking the ball away. Hickman's been the best player in the first quarter. Camperelli not far behind him, and he runs in and kicks a goal. Oh, there's a feeling about this game.
Well, it's exciting football, isn't it? That is great football from the Blues there, and they are not giving the Bomber forwards, backs, any breathing space whatsoever. What about some of the stats they're racking up? Hickman has 10, as you mentioned, Hutto. Ratton's picked up 11. We watched on replay. Good over the ball. A bad handball to Alessio's just exposed him at ground level. And there's no better. Well, He's one of the best in the comp, Camperell, the old mop-up, and a great finisher.
I think there's time for a change. I think Joe Mercedes got to be taken out of the middle of the ground. Someone has to play on Ratton and the gating role. I'll try and think of a match-up there for him.
But you can see how they've been winning it out of the middle. Alessio Lappin, he comes in. Lost it out the back. Hands from Mansfield. Hickmont just delayed the kick. This battle is enthralling between the two W's, Wellman and Whitnell. Wellman winning out conclusively that time.
Ooh.
Carousella had to wait the kick, but really it was more... That should have been a free against Mansfield. The ball not out of bounds, and Mercury turned around to scream at the umpire. He can't believe it.
Brian Sheehan, that had to be a free. Even if it was accidental, he's taken him to the ground without even being near the ball, as we can see it on replay. You just can't do that. That has to be a free kick, Fish.
Baffling stuff.
Used to get them all from the umpires, we know that.
Freeborn, they're winning around the contest again, the Blues. And this man has been magnificent. 12th possession is a handball. Allen, Beaumont. Oh, it was a tough one for Whitnell, but it dropped nicely for him, didn't it? And he used his body well, and there's plenty of body there. Camperelli puts it out in front of Kuda, who's returned to the forward line and takes the mark. And on his day, you never know from here.
It's great to hear he's going to go forward.
He's going for it. He's just going for it from one step. Anthony Koutafidis.
Well, they are smoking at the moment. I was just about to say, Shorey, the Camperelli's confidence he showed in Koutafidis there to honour the lead that was going to take him outside 50. Here it is, the kick across goal. The other option was to go deeper in the forward line and to put real pressure onto the Bombers, but look at this, Koutafidis backing himself in. That is an awesome sight, outside 50. That kick went at least 60 metres in my estimations. So, well, the Blues are irrepressible at the moment.
And Dougie, I think Adrian Hickmont's come from the ground. He's had 12 possessions.
Yeah, he is having a bit of a spell there, sure. He's been outstanding in that first quarter. And your call was right, Tony. Joe Mercedes having a bit of a breather on the bench as well.
So a couple of minutes remaining in this opening quarter. Still time to do more damage the way the Blues are going at the moment. Lappin being pursued by Heffernan. Left him in his wake yet again. Bradley, Hurd, who may have just taken it upon himself to put himself in the play.
His timing, if he has, Hutto, his timing is impeccable. They need to generate something out of the middle, and I'm sure James has a licence to throw himself into the mix and try and create something.
Again, the inside 50's telling at least part of the story. Kuda went towards the boundary line with the handball. And Beaumont just shoving Hurd aside and making sure the ball went out of bounds. Someone's gone down behind play. Francina it was. Hardwick, bit of acting going on. And there's still those four players, Carousella, Bradley, Francina, all trying to get onto trying to get the matchups right that their respective coaches have given. Plunkett also in the play. Quick kick forward by Lappin. Out wide to the boundary line. Kuda taking it. Gee, it was a lucky bounce. It's all going the Blues' way at the moment. Whitnell's in the pocket. He's led Wellman to the ball. He just couldn't complete it.
We mentioned earlier in the game, Hutto, whether the Blues can sustain it, because they had some key players like this man on screen, Lance Whitnell, missed a bit of footy, but they can do no wrong. And when the ball bounces for you like that, you know you may as well just attack it and attack it hard all day because someone's smiling.
At the back is Johnson. Camperelli though with a chance here. We just missed it. Overran it. McGrath mopping up. Starting to run. Johnson's kick is high and wide. Lloyd having to lead a long way up the ground to try and get his first possession of the day. And he gets it too, and it's out on the full. Things can only get better from there, Matty.
I think a lot of players have got moulded souls on because Matty Lloyd then, great pressure from Manton, but he had to take a couple of steps to balance so he wouldn't slip over.
He didn't feel sure-footed.
No.
Look at, did he? Well done. Good chase by Glenn Manton.
And they're under genuine pressure here, the Bombers. We've seen that for a lot of the last month, really, when you look at it. Geelong were relatively close to them, and then, of course, we had the famous match against the Kangaroos, and last week losing to Port Adelaide.
We find teams to be more accountable with the Bombers at the moment, Hutto, and it's forcing the Bombers, well, it's negating some of their sacrificial running and risk-taking, I think.
Fletcher, clear, off the left, not a bad kick for the space in front of Bradley. Oh, Houlihan, classy stuff. And he just didn't capitalise on the work of Bradley, the ball out of bounds.
Oh, you can see why Craig Bradley's played 350 games. People might have thought he shirked the issue there. That was just smart play. All the pressure was coming to him, and he's tapped the ball forward when he come at that ball.
The ball inside 50, Cooter. Oh, what a handball. Freeborn, can he make the most of it? No, he can't. There's still a chance. Now it's out of bounds.
Gee, isn't Cooter enjoying his game back? 7 possessions, 4 marks, a goal already in this first quarter. And Carlton are playing all over Essendon. 91 possessions in this first quarter to 57, the Bombers.
They got one more very small chance here to try and get another goal before the bell quarter time. And it looks like the siren will come just a little bit early. Much to the frustration of Jimmy Plunkett. What a quarter from the MCG. It went 33 minutes and plenty for that man to think about.
Well, it certainly is, Hutto. Sheeds would have been hoping for or at least a break-even situation for the Bombers, but this game is set up today. Looking forward to a big one.
Yes, we certainly are. It's 7-1 Carlton. Essendon 4 straight as we head to the quarter-time break.
This AFL telecast proudly brought to you by Philips Widescreen, the new shape of TV. Harvey Norman, there's a store near you. And the all-new Nissan Pulsar, just wait till you drive it.
When a 13-year-old boy wins the house of the future,
our newest occupants, the Cooper family,
he figures his family will have everything they ever needed.
I don't want anyone to get the idea that we need a new mom. Anything I can't do, it can.
But their dream home,
Pat,
is about to turn into the virtual mother from hell.
What did you say to me, young man?
Don't miss the out-of-this-world Smart House, now showing on Movie One.
Hey, Sugar, you near TV? You better switch on to Movie Greats. That 70s classic I've been talking about is on.
R.A. Tiger.
Child, check out those cool threads and the do's. That's right, girl. It's Bill Cosby and Sidney Poitier. Oh, with that JJ do.
I am the champ.
It's an all-time groovy classic. Let's do it again. Catch you soon, Sugar.
Now showing on Movie Greats.
I am hearing you.
Okay, yeah, this is my scene coming up next. I'm not that guy. That wasn't me. There, on the left. That's the one, holding the spear, that's me.
It's just a shoulder. It could be anybody's shoulder.
We must press on, Egypt.
Quick, Jeremy's.
I do not beg. I demand it.
See, there's me.
It is you! Mwah.
Philips Widescreen.
Oh, sweetie.
The new shape of TV.
Second quarter from the MCG. Let's hope it's as good as the first. Alessio in the ruck against Porter. Free kick going Carlton's way. Of course, the first quarter was only good, I guess, if you back for Carlton or you're a neutral supporter. Long kick from Silvani. And there's the lead of Kudafidi. So they started well again. Wellman late on the scene. Whitnell. Great smother from Sean Wellman. Battled up. The underground hand pass was on. Barnard better get rid of it soon. He backed himself in and did a good job. Oh, Fletcher was very strong at it. Ramanauskas wins the contest though. Gets it moving. Here's Lloyd again up on the wing. Had to go long and far just to get kicks this afternoon. Quick kick from Hurd. Solomon let it go and let Ramanauskas run onto it. Can run to 50. Low kick bouncing in Rice. Gathered it pretty well as it turned out. And the handball out the back really opened things up for the Blues because Hickmott's leading out at half back. McKay hits him. Got Cooter on the wing, but he moves it further than that in the direction of Hardwick and Franchina. Wasn't all that good in the end. Fletcher did well for the Bombers. Here's Ratton to make a difference again. Franchina. Forster Knight was the tackler. Hardwick. Houlihan was bearing down. Good quick hands from the Bombers. Forster Knight gets Barnard. Free kick Carlton's way.
Well, he didn't quite pick that up, Hutto. But it's Hickmott again. He's starting off the second quarter like he played the first.
And Forster Knight has gone to Ratton.
Gee, what a job for the young man. Ratton takes them on, kept on going, and Whitnell couldn't help but take the mark. Brilliant stuff, Brett Ratton, yet again.
Here's a champion, Fish.
He just makes you, he's a marvel. Because he's so creative with the football, he rarely lets you down. an amazing stat from the first quarter, not taking into account some of the early grabs. As we see the ball come forward, that's just a great spot up. Whitnell with a bit of space. Essendon took 6 marks in the first quarter. Carlton took 23. It just smacks a little bit short of Carlton working a little bit harder when they've got possession.
Lance Whitnell to try and convert. Pulled it away to the left.
To get a bit too close to the man on the mark. Sure, I'd like to see it again, but he did jag it a bit to the left.
You know why Brett Ratton's such a champion is because he gets underneath the packs and wins the ball, and then he also gets a mix of 10 to 15 easy ones by linking up.
Yep.
Fletcher, big kick in. Porter late on the scene, but takes the mark with authority. Camporelli was almost run down by McVeigh, but not quite. Beaumont, who's Hurd's opponent this afternoon, sets it up, wasn't good disposal. Freeborn went backwards for Hickmont. Saw a couple of Blues leading out very wide. This is Houlihan. Whitnell came through to make his presence felt. Quick kick. Silvani, he's inside 50 but doesn't have a shot. Went for the pass instead, and it was a good decision as it turns out.
It was a good decision, and it's the old heads of the Blues that are just setting up so well for their team today. And I reckon there's a couple of matchup issues for Sheeds out there at the moment, isn't there, Shorey? I mean, Sheedy doesn't seem to, unless the Bombers are winning it, he finds it hard to get the correct matchup, and at the moment that's a bit of a problem for them.
And Scotty Lucas is playing as nearly a defender, which means Steve Silvani's still a forward. You're not putting any forward pressure on Steve Silvani up the other end.
So Ryan Houlihan, we know how much talent he has. He's kicked 20 goals, 12 for the year. He's been a big player so far for the Blues in his career. They're hoping for even bigger things from him, and that is a terrific kick. And now Carlton open up a very handy 26-point lead.
Very, very handy indeed, and it's going to be a big job for the Bombers to get themselves back in, but the Carlton have kicked the last 5 goals of the game, and they've done it just through sheer persistence and pressure on the opposition. They had players pushing forward, prepared to run, and Houlihan running into space is the very welcome recipient of a good chip pass from Silvani. But Essendon have got to arrest this game and start to take a bit of control, particularly out of the middle now.
So plenty for Kevin Sheedy to think about at the moment, with the margin out to 26. Barnard, Jason Johnson, trying to get some run into this Bomber team. He did it in the second quarter. Look at Lloyd from behind. He did it in the second quarter against the Kangaroos, Johnson, as did Lloyd. So they're trying to do it again. This time, of course, the margin much different, but so far the Blues standing up beautifully. Silvani, Lappin, Heffernan late on the scene. He's played a terrific game, Lappin, hasn't he? Under really close attention from Heffernan.
Well, he's just as comfortable upfield as he is close to goal, so he's and he's good overhead. So he's a hard matchup.
He's had 3 marks, 7 kicks, 7 possessions, 2 goals. Porter got the hand to it. Houlihan.
Just watching here, Shorey and Fish. Looks like Joe Mercedes gone half forward flank now. Picked up by Adrian Hickmott.
The other one, Steve Silvani, is pushing back and giving Carlton someone to kick out to once they win possession in the back half. Lucas not putting any forward pressure on him at all.
Ratton working it backwards. Lappin again. A wobbly one. Oh, it was always going to be a cruel bounce. Bradley probably trying to be a bit too cute on that occasion. Carousella, Fletcher can loop the handball over the top. Solomon had run for him nicely. There's no one inside 50 at all, so there's no use bombing it. At this stage, he does bomb it. Oh, Hurd, how did he get there? He got there so quickly, and you must pay credit to Solomon because he didn't just bomb it straight, he pushed it wide and gave somewhere for Hurd to run into.
That was just great play by James Hurd. We're watching as he shorts pass and not good.
Lucas almost turned it into a goal. In fact, he did. Oh, he turned it into a goal scoring opportunity anyway, and he's kicked it.
Well, the good thing about that piece of play, Shorey, was that Solomon had the presence of mind to run and carry and wait for something to open up, and James Hurd just worked really hard and found the space.
Look, he zigzagged behind Beaumont, and Beaumont lost him, but just here, not a great kick, and this is where I'd say just before, Lucas has to put forward pressure on Silvani. Yes. He's got to get forward and kick goals. That's what he does well. So, you know, he pushed forward that time and he converted.
So it's back to 20 points, and Wayne Britton also getting pretty animated in the box. Alessio, Ramanauskas, Freeborn, everyone else just coming in. That was the late tackle. Ratton locked up by Forster Knight, who I'm sure will do his best to stay right with him.
Just a move being made here by Kevin Sheedy, boys. Moorcroft off the ground. Danny Jacobs has gone forward. A mismatch there for Rice, Dean Rice.
It looks like they're fixing it up now. Doug, as we speak, Fletcher's gone back to him, and Rice is moving up the ground, and we'll see whose direct opponent may be in a moment.
Yes, Rice just off the contest, but Lucas right in amongst it. Gets it in quickly. McKay always leading his man to the ball, and he's now on Solomon.
Rice is actually coming off Hutto, and Prendergast is coming on to replace him.
Houlihan, Lappin working hard. That time Heffernan in very close attendance and winning the one-on-one battle.
McVeigh's done a good job on Camporelli after the first initial 10 to 15 minutes of the first quarter. He's quietening down. Camporelli still had 9 possessions to this stage of the game.
Porter and Alessio. Porter winning it. Mercedes, Hurd. It was a good handball. Mercedes had the time and the space to find McVeigh. Lloyd leads to the proximity of around 50. Takes it.
Well, he hasn't had too many opportunities, Matty Lloyd, to run into space. And sometimes a bit of overzealousness that can creep into a forwards game, and they go a bit early. On that occasion, he judged it pretty well. He timed his lead, and he was found. And well, Manton was still sweating on him, so it was a pretty good grab in the end. This might test him though. He may even be moved up the ground. He may have been playing off half forward at the moment.
I think they were breaking down there, so Sheeds has said, we're not getting the ball to him at full forward. Push him up to centre half forward and see if he can run Manton around.
Freeborn off for Plunkett. Matthew Lloyd with 79 goals for the year to try and get it to 80. It's a big kick. It's a big kick. And they're just outside the hands of McKay. So 2 in a row for the Bombers.
I think we just found out what Matty Lloyd's distance is from goal, because that was just through by a whisker. But it'll be a relief for Matty, because he has been worn like a second skin by Manton. As we said, it's the first opportunity he's really had to lead to space, Shorey.
I think James Hurd going in the centre too has helped him. It's just stabilised that area. He's created a lot of opportunities for the Bombers after he's moved into there.
So Lloyd's got his first mark and goal, and the margin is back to 14 points. Franchina in the middle on Caracella now as the tap came down from Porter. And there he was getting a half possession. Hurd having an impact out of the middle, getting it in quickly. Manton had to work overtime. Could have got a free for hanging on. Did well, man, did very well. Uses Mansfield on the way out. Now Plunkett looks down the ground. Whitnell's leading into space. Will he honour the lead? He does with the kick. Wellman right with him. Well done, Lance. Had to work really hard for that. And did. It's on the wing. It's a long way from home. Cooter was the first option. Went longer for Hickmott. In amongst 4 Bombers, but no one touched him. A little short pass was on. Big Porter pushing forward. Alessio late on the scene. Was a bit awkward. The Blues want 50. And the umpire says yes. And Alessio is angry.
I don't agree with that. He had to go in that contest, Alessio.
Wasn't he?
Yep.
It looked like, and I only say it looked like, McBurney got conned.
Yeah, I think so, by the crowd.
And the Essendon players, but he was late, Alessio. He was late, but how late?
We'll have to see the replay, but I just think he was committed. He had to go. All it was a mark.
If he hadn't have gone, he would have been off the field. The coach would have been happy with him.
Porter kicks the goal. The margin back to 20 points. There's a bit of fire in this game.
Well, the first mistake was made with Hickmott breaking free. There were a couple of Bombers who saw him, and they just didn't get to him. And it was proved costly. Here it was. He wasn't covered properly. Someone's let their teammate down, and then Alessio was forced to the contest, which means Porter had the back door open. And there's it. Oh, well, look.
He had to go.
Yeah, he had to. He was committed there. That's a hard call from the umpire.
The contact wasn't really indiscriminate, was it? It wasn't like he belted him over the head or anything.
You've got to make them earn them. I mean, that's what the game's all about.
And he was going to shoot from 50 out there, and he shoots from, well, on the white line, so it's a sure goal when it could be a doubtful goal.
We've had an idiot on the field at the other end of the ground. In fact, no, not a streaker. So not even any imagination about it. 20 points the difference.
I was looking for Hawk then. I thought, oh no, don't tell me.
Well, we have another idiot on the ground, perhaps I should have said. Only joking, Hawk. Out of the middle. Hurd, Johnson. Gets them inside 50. Charging work from Solomon. Good work by Hand, Mercury, Ramanauskas. Oh, he just broke clear. That was great stuff to watch. It deserved the goal, and he finished it off nicely. What a game.
Oh, this is very entertaining stuff, and the centre breaks are proving critical. That was fantastic poise from Ramanauskas. He's actually become known for that, hasn't he? He's balanced over the ball, and he just found another gear. Johnson out of the centre again. Very familiar story for the Bombers. Solomon, quick hands, and Mercury found the right option. Here it is.
Just tell me, does that look like a young Peter Matera the way he did that then? That's who once I watch him, I think, gee, he looks like Peter Matera when he was a youngster. And just then you could see the way he just held his body, pushed it around and kept balance.
That's a pretty big rap, Shorey.
Oh, no, it is. I just think he plays like him.
Yep.
Is that a mismatch now, Prendergast on Ramanauskas?
Oh, yes.
Short term, though, I'd say.
Porter, who's controlling the rucks at the moment. Bradley. Ramanauskas again going in.
Free kick to Bradley.
Carlton's way.
He was slung after he got rid of the ball.
Alessio again, I think, in amongst it.
Needs to take a big deep breath, Sess, because he may still be a bit unhappy about the last decision.
Using Hickmott now. Whitnell's led to the pocket. Kicks it for the space. Wellman will get there. And the ball just beating them both.
We've had a change. Hickmott has gone to Lucas, and Silvani now has pushed the full back. So, you know, Scotty Lucas has got to put some time in Adrian Hickmott. He works very hard during the game.
Strange opponent for Silvani, isn't it? Solomon, the other end of the ground. Jacobs in amongst there. Here's Lappin. They all went down except this man, Hurd. Penetration on the kick. Solomon from behind. Silvani mopped up beautifully. He had Blues running all the way around the other side of the ground. Prendergast ignores them and goes longer. Went for Whitnell. Wasn't a great kick. Too much on it. He had the loose plays breaking to the outer side, didn't use them. Fletcher takes the mark. And now the Bombers can switch. Hurd, who really has started to come into the play in the last 10 or 15 minutes. And that can only spell danger. Had the audacity to take a bounce. And his kick was a bit proppy, to be honest. But it's okay for Solomon, who wanted to get it back to Hurd. And in the end, that was crazy stuff. Plunkett takes it away. Hasn't got much to go to apart from Whitnell. The kick had to be pinpointed, so it was anything but pinpoint.
Well, are we seeing a shift here ever so slightly, Shorey, because Bombers have started getting on top around the middle, and now it's the Blues just with some indiscriminate kicking. And Hurd stepped up in this quarter with 7 possessions, and he's made an impact on this game.
If Jimmy Plunkett's got one problem in his game, it would be his penetration with his kicking.
Alessio very strong at the footy. Full credit to Porter. Ratton, it's been a bit quiet for the last 5 minutes. Only had 15 possessions.
Oh,
he's gone.
And he's rewarded. Hardwick.
Big stage for the young fella Plunkett. I don't think he would have done this too often.
Interesting handball, that one. Wellman had to kick pretty quickly. Hurd from the side, didn't go. Beaumont did, and the Blues controlled it. Hickmott waited with a handball. Ratton, Forster Knight is just right on him. He is wearing him. And another bounce.
You know, it's not uncommon for Sheeds to give a big job to a young bloke and say, well, here's a chance. Do you want it or not?
Well, he had to do it because Mercedes, Ratton just had too much of the ball in the first quarter. I think it was 13 possessions. And Forster Knight, he doesn't have to get a kick. All he's got to do is stop Ratton having a touch and not worry about getting a possession himself. That's the type you'd have to play on Brett Ratton.
Yeah, big job from an old bloke too. Craig Bradley's picking up Jason Johnson now.
McKay gets it away onto the wing. Well, Hardwick was scratching hard for it. Ramanauskas. Fletcher with a chance. Can really get it in quickly and get it in long. McVeigh's got away. Just misjudged it slightly. Lloyd, recovered it beautifully. Didn't have a shot. Gave Heffernan the chance, but also gave the Blues defenders Lappin, and they just take it through from behind. Ooh.
Well, it's just going to be size and shape at times at the moment because there are so many changes happening down there. It's pretty hard to keep up with. And the boys just have to do the best they can at just manning up the most appropriate at any particular time.
Silvani and Kuda exchanging kicks. Lappin leads close into the middle. That's good delivery. Thought he might have played on then. Forster Knight ran past on Ratton. Very close to him still. Goes out very wide. Searching and finding Prendergast. It could be the matchup for Lucas at the moment. The readjustments continue. Alessio's pushed back inside defensive 50. Porter there with him. That's the direction of the kick. Porter! Superior judgment on that occasion.
He's got very good hands, hasn't he, the big fella?
Bolton on the ground as the extra defender in this contest. Went for Cooter. Bolton despoiled, did that well. Well played, Mark Bolton, and gathers it and was able to release the handball. And this is where Ramanascus really comes into his own. Streaming through the middle, links with Heffernan. The other one over the top. He kept on going, Ramanascus. He could go for home. He could go for home. He passed to Hurdy, who wants it and gets it. He's paid the mark. Well, anyone else, and Ramanascus would have had a shot for goal, I'm sure.
Well, doesn't this guy earn his possessions, sure? He's run almost length of the ground there to be on the other end of it. But that was great by the Bombers. They controlled the ball to the midfield. And it's not always about speed and length in this game. You really need to control it, as Ramanascus did with the chain of handballs around teammates. Ended up with it, and that was a fine kick to the advantage of Hurd, as we see some changes swinging as Alessio's come off for Barnes, and Allen's now coming on for Porter.
No worries for James Hurd. Another one of those mongrel punts that went right through the middle.
Well, he's been the man who's got him back into the game. Ramanascus has had 6 possessions also in the second quarter. The other thing is Camporelli's only had 1 in this quarter, so McVeigh's done a great job. What about Mark Bolton in the defence then, though?
Wasn't a great effort for him.
Well, he's spoiled, had to be the third man up, got a great link handball off to Ramanascus, who sets this up to James Hurd. James Hurd's had an impact after he went back in to the middle of the ground.
Whitnell's gone back into defence at this set of bounce. We know about the impact of Hurd. Whitnell going back inside defensive 50 as an extra man for the Blues at the moment. So they'll get it forward here.
Well, Wellman's in no man's land, Hutto. He should be back there.
It's a 2-man forward line. Koutafidis and Plunkett, the only 2 there, and they do it. They combine. They might combine to get a goal. Ratton working it back. Lappin going for his third. Oh, and he's right. Offline, just away to the left. Gee, that's one that they really could have done with.
They could. I would have thought, Shorey, what would you instruct your players to do in that situation? Whitnell's gone back, the back of the square. Would you instruct Wellman to stay back in the defensive side of his territory as well?
Yeah, I think
Wellman
would do better playing there loose than what Whitnell would do the other end.
Yeah.
And now the tide's turned. Essendon are getting on top. So I think Kevin Chitty would have said, well, just leave it, because we're on top at the moment.
Had to work pretty hard for that one. Couldn't take the mark. Going to get a free Bolton for in the back. Interference at the marking contest. Able to move it quickly. Here's Hurd again. No.
Hold on.
It's 50, is it? Against Hickmott. Or is it a...
No, I think the umpire's busy having a chat to Hickmott and Heffernan.
Yes, it is 50. No.
We're going to get...
No, we're not. No, it's going to come back to Bolton.
Now, why would you stop the play if you're just going to warn a player and, you know, Essendon are into attack? I just can't believe sometimes.
Well, I think he was warning players from both teams.
Oh, well, that's good.
Well, so he wanted to make sure they stop. I don't know. Jacobs getting it out. Barnes hasn't had an impact really in this game yet. First possession, in fact. McVeigh at the back. He read it nicely off the packs. Couldn't take it. Mansfield missed. Second effort was all right. Beaumont, Lappin. Oh, good strong work, John Barnes. Blues had the best supporting cast though. Mansfield gets another try at it. And it was no better. In fact, it was worse.
Well, he's putting his stamp on the game, this man, James Hurd.
He switches. He saw that Nasidi had no one around him. He's got an extra runner. This is Wellman through the middle of the ground, looking dangerous now. Lucas had a good lead going. Ignored it. Has to find Lloyd doubling back. Oh, Lucas. Lucas will take it, surely. He couldn't. Good late work down there from Prendergast. Lloyd, he almost tried to throw that out. Somehow he got it to Barnard, who found the middle. It's almost level.
Well, Barnard's second, and that one was a mop-up created by a good contest at ground level by Matty Lloyd. And you'd have to question maybe Whitnell's chase on that occasion through the middle. He was just found a little bit wanting. This may happen as the game wears on, Shorey, that the wing tank might struggle a little bit.
Well, you've got to think that they've had some problems with injury, Carlton, and maybe they mightn't see the game out as well as Essendon.
They've kicked 5 of the last 6, the Bombers. Steve Kernahan Helping out Wayne Britton in the box. Allen in the ruck now. Barnes beaten for it. Might have been a high tackle. Not spotted. Hurd. Another possession. Heffernan. Suddenly they're running. They're moving the ball quickly. Lloyd missed it. Blues should be able to mop up here. Fletcher. Ratton. Out wide. Mansfield. He's got a short one on for Beaumont. Oh, and he's missed his target again. Mansfield's kicking in this quarter. Fairly average. 2 points the difference.
Sorry, 13 possessions, 5 marks and a goal to James Hurd.
Yeah, I guess you couldn't miss-kick it to anyone worse, could you, than James Hurd. Ramanaskas, what a quarter he's played as well. Really started to give them some drive.
The amazing thing about those 13 possessions, though, 11 of them have come in this second quarter.
He has dominated it. He just moved in the midfield when he wants to and then goes forward.
The Bombers controlling the tempo of the game at the moment. Look at everyone is back. Only one Carlton player is behind Blake Carosella, and that is the man, Simon Beaumont, on James Hurd, who wouldn't dare to go anywhere else. Oh, he played on. Got into all sorts of trouble. Beaumont has got nowhere to go here. Ratton, if he had have kicked it forward, wouldn't have helped the Blues at all. McVeigh. So the Blues have brought the flooding back, the ultra flooding back, just for this passage of play. Lucas going wide with the handball. There's no space out for them. Ratton, McKay, out towards the line. Houlihan, and they've worked it over.
Great contest.
Well, we've gone into time on now in this second quarter, and the Blues have just said, look, we have to shut shop here. They have really gained the ascendancy, the Bombers. We just don't want them scoring any more goals before half-time.
Well, that is amazing, isn't it? Meantime, play going on. Fletcher gets it out to the wing. Carosella, good body work on Franchina. And the Bombers able to really line things up. Hurd had a bit much on it. Allen. Now, interesting as to how the Blues can control this.
They're on here.
Lappin is the loose man over from Bradley. Oh, Bradley did show courage that time, no question. He can get it moving. They are all on the fast break. Out very wide to Plunkett. Lappin's run to the goal square. Couldn't get it. Camporelli. Plunkett's still got a chance. Bolton. Now the Bombers have got numbers back. The fast break was on for Carlton and they really didn't handle it that well.
Well done, Dustin Fletcher.
Yeah,
he could have given a free kick away, but he didn't make body contact on Jimmy Plunkett. And it meant that they could get numbers back there, but well done.
Whitnall's off, Porter back on. You had to wonder how long Lance would last today, I suppose.
Well, it's the ideal time to give him a breather just before half-time. It gives him a 15-minute break at least now before he might have to take the ground again, so he's going to need every second of that.
Carosella still going with Bradley, and Bradley going to Johnson.
9-3 Carlton, 9-1 Essendon. Great battle. James Hurd has been outstanding in it. Ratton, Ramanaskas, Hardwick. Suddenly the Bombers around the contest, and this man particularly. Wasn't great delivery for Lloyd. Had it pretty tough, but he had Wellman running for him. Mercurius behind to the right, doesn't need to go back to him. Went for Lucas instead. Silvani back on Lucas now. Mansfield. Might handball this time, I think. He does. Silvani can link up again. Good running, Prendergast. Kick was all right too, Houlihan. Had Franchina away, but he took him on instead. Bomber fans wanted a free. The umpire said he got a handball to it. Carosella took a while. Ramanaskas. There's a free kick. Brian Sheen's come in from behind. He's played a free kick Essendon's way to Blake Carosella. The non-controlling umpire. Carosella kicks quickly and poorly. And Mansfield to take the mark. Bradley pushed for him out to his right. But he's held up play, which is interesting.
Sure, what do you do with Beaumont? Do you leave him on James Hurd or you try someone different?
Well, you could put McKay. McKay has played on him before, Dougie, but maybe just tell him to tighten up because he's got to stop him having an impact.
Tell him to tighten up.
He's at 15 possessions.
You don't reckon he'd be trying?
Oh, yeah, but no, you can really say don't even worry about getting a possession yourself.
Really try and tighten up.
Well, he's about 40 metres away from James Hurd at this stage. Beaumont's down at centre-half back. Hurd's at centre-half back for Essendon.
They've both gone into defensive positions at the moment.
Exactly, but I'd just say, look, sometimes players want to run off and get a possession on a great player. It's better to just say, all right, totally defensive, don't worry about touching the ball yourself, then do your job.
Jacobs doing the ruck work and doing it well. Beaumont off the right boot. Getting it forward. Kuda takes the mark. Camporelli running with Hurd just at that little passage of play. Going very short. Fletcher takes the mark. So we're closing in on half-time. The Blues just grimly hang on to a 2-point lead. Forster Knight has done a good job since he's gone on to Ratton overall. McVeigh done a good job on Camporelli. Wobbles one forward, and that's a good mark. Ramanauskas, what a quarter he's played. And Jason Johnson, the Blue, well, he's gone for the boundary line, and he finds it. Suddenly tactics have played a big part in this whole game, but this is amazing stuff, isn't it?
It certainly is. All the Bombers were pushing back aggressively, and on the turnover there was nothing on offer for Jason Johnson, who has done the right thing in the end, and he's just gone long to space, found the 19th man in the boundary line.
He might always think also that Matty Lloyd might have advantage in the ruck against Manton.
Beaumont back on Hurd. He's inside 50 lurking at the moment, James Hurd. Prendergast uses Camporelli. Oh, it wasn't a great kick.
Oh, now that has to be 50.
They're going to scream for 50 here. Same umpire.
I'm thinking Alessio.
Same umpire.
Oh, that has to be 50 if the other one was.
Maybe the contact wasn't as severe or in his eyes. Mercury into the pocket. Hurd, harassed, harangued. No free kick. He has I got one in the head. And the umpire ignores it.
Well, you just got to let him know.
He's certainly doing that.
I think history says he's had a fair run with the umpires, doesn't it?
Here's the Mercury one.
Well, the Freeborn was arguably the one that Shorey and I were looking at.
McKay, a minute to go in the half. The Blues leading by 2 points.
The man just on screen there only briefly, Koutafidis, has just, as Hurd has stepped up this quarter, Koutafidis has had one that, well, it didn't match his first, that's for sure.
Jacobs got the tap. McKay wheeling it through. There's Cooter again. Lappin. Low kick. And a wide kick. So well, I guess they'd take it, wouldn't they? If they were told before the game they could be 2 points up at half-time, Carlton, they'd certainly take it.
They certainly would. They deserve to be in front. They have they've been good, but Essendon are Martin's starting to make a stamp on the game. Possessions, Ratton 20, Hickmott 19, and Hurd 15.
Jacobs again doing the ruck work. So he's obviously doing all the around-the-ground ruck work.
Yep.
And out of bounds.
There is plenty happening off the ball, Hutto. If you have a look at this ball in, there's about 6 players going with each other. They're trying to keep the tags on. You can just see here Franchina, Freeborn, Caracella, and I think it's Johnson.
Well, I can't see either Barnes or Alessio out there.
Barnes has gone to...
full forward, boys.
Yeah.
Barnes again, full forward, pick up by Silvani.
That is amazing. Free kick, so the Blues have got a chance here. Inside the last minute, Adrian Hickmott, he looks as if he thinks he can kick a goal.
He does, doesn't he? He's given the obligatory look inside to see if anything's on offer, but in the back of his mind he's saying, I can kick this.
He strode back with confidence.
His 20th possession coming up here. He's had a great first half.
Was it false confidence? Or does he know he can kick a 55-metre goal on half-time? He does know. He knows he can do it. That is self-belief. And Carlton will take an 8-point lead. And just a little bit of a pump-up from Adrian Hickmott, who has played the half of his life, to take Carlton to a 10-3, 9-1 advantage at half-time.
Well, that was his 20th possession and first goal. Just a great finish to this. It's been a fantastic half, Fish.
Oh, it's been enthralling for a number of reasons. The matchups have chopped and changed. Control has been wrested by both sides on different occasions. We're set for a big one here.
10-3 to 9-1 at half-time.
The CUB AFL 2001 Premiership season. Live Friday night at 7:30, the Kangaroos take on Geelong. Saturday afternoon at 5, St Kilda clash with Port Adelaide. Saturday night live at 7:30, the Adelaide Carlton confrontation. Live Sunday afternoon at 2, the Collingwood Bulldog showdown. Followed by the Brisbane Richmond encounter at 5. Then Sunday night at 7:30, Essendon battles Sydney. The CUB AFL 2001 season on C7 Sport.
Carl and James were expecting another day at the office.
Consider yourself on probation.
What they got was something else.
Looks like somebody threw away a perfectly good white boy.
All together.
Screwed.
And the only way to keep their jobs is not to freak out. flake out.
Human life means very little to me at this point in time.
Or get found out.
Not so fast.
Charlie Sheen, Emilio Estevez, Men at Work, now showing on Movie 1.
What secrets do families hide?
He has no idea that you even exist.
What evil
A sacrilege. An abomination.
masquerades as truth
You, the children, are the devil's spawn.
and sees innocence as a deadly sin?
Remember, God sees everything.
Kathy!
You are a sinner.
One way or another, we're getting out.
Flowers in the Attic, now showing on Movie Greats.
Okay, yeah, this is my scene coming up next. I'm not that guy. That wasn't me. There, on the left. That's the one. Holding the spear, that's me.
It's just a shoulder. It could be anybody's shoulder.
We must press on, Egypt.
Quick, Jeremy's.
I do not beg. I demand it.
See, there's me.
It is you! Mwah.
Philips widescreen.
Oh, sweetie.
The new shape of TV.
They call it the Premiership Quarter. Carlton used to pride themselves on being so brilliant in it. Lead by 8 points. And Porter gets them underway again. Hardwick, Porter. It's been a big physical presence today for the Blues. Bombers going in very hard. Lucas is kicked wide. Oh, Beaumont slipped. The ball came loose. Mercury. Mercedes. Bombers have got 2 back in the goal square. And that won't have much of an impact now because Silvani can use Cooter. He can link up here, back with Ratton. Out wide Fletcher. Lappin leading into the pocket. Got 2 to beat Lappin, but he's got the time. And more importantly, the space.
Well, what we just saw there, we witnessed the big difference between good sides and poor sides in this competition. Just the handling of the ball in the wet. You'd be really concerned if some of the lower sides in the competition were trying to over-possess through midfield like that, particularly when it's damp and it's slippery. But, gee, the Blues did it so well, didn't they, Shore?
We also saw Brett Ratton, both sides of his body, very efficient.
Lappin had to put everything. He gave it everything. It's just across the face a bit. Hickmott kept it alive. No, it's a behind.
Well, he did a good job there, Hickmott, and isn't it not a bad little package, Lappin, is it? He doesn't mind backing himself in from 50 out.
Fletcher kicking in, had to be careful with the kick for Hurd. Hickmott was late, but Mark paid for James Hurd. Switching play, Forster Knight getting the call to leave it from Sean Wellman. Lucas on his left side, so had to kick out very wide. He couldn't squeeze back, and as a result, the kick was ordinary. So Beaumont not running with Hurd all over the ground at the moment. Getting it down for Whitnell. Hurd's a loose man in defence at this stage.
Ratton's gone to him.
Whitnell. Fletcher. There's a whistle.
Free kick for Hurd.
Advantage paid. Hurd with his hands on his hips. Jason Johnson streaming down the wing. Lloyd again marking it 70 out from goal. Just popping it over the top. Ramanaskas able to break clear. Might link up with McVeigh. Has the shot, McVeigh. It's close. It is there. No! Gee, it looked like it was home, didn't it?
It did. He didn't have much time. It was very good skill there by McVeigh. He only had a split second to balance. But Ramanaskas kept his feet well in that contest and found McVeigh with just the door slightly open. And gee, that was ever so close, wasn't it, when it hits a post?
Brett Ratton's trying to run with James Hurd, and Foster Knight is still going with him, so it's 2-on-1 for Carlton at the moment.
Wellman, Whitnell, Hurd. Jacobs with Silvani to spoil. You know he's going to do that successfully. And goes again, Silvani. Carasella gives McVeigh another chance. Just the initial fumble in the slippery conditions. No free kick for in the back. Mercury misses.
Well, they're peppering early, aren't they?
Gee, you would have backed him 19 times out of 20, wouldn't you, almost, from there?
Well, of course, when you see Mark Mercury, not in that exact position, but it was only in 1999 when he missed that opportunity late in the game in a preliminary final. Not dissimilar, but no, you would back him 9 times out of 10.
Just see, boys, Scott Lucas having a spell, maybe because of the rain now. Gary Moorcroft gone forward for the Bombers.
So Camporelli with the kicking in duties. Silvani won't get there. Bradley does. Mercury again roundabout. Mansfield just had to bash it on the boot. Barnes couldn't take the mark. Interesting decision to go off the ground. They've controlled it pretty well though in the end, the Bombers. Barnes' kick looks all right. McVeigh, yes! Oh, what a catch in the gully.
Yes, it was, wasn't it?
Well, that's been a big move by Kevin Sheedy, because Camporelli had 6 early possessions and McVeigh went to him about the 15-minute mark of the first quarter. He's had 4 possessions since, and now he's going to kick a goal on him, so a good move by Kevin Sheedy.
And a wonderful testament to this young man who's really taken his football by the scruff of the neck this year.
He's averaged a goal a game. Oh, he's hit. I'll tell you what.
It's a radar.
Has it ever been done, hitting the post twice in 2 minutes?
Of course.
Of course it has.
What a stupid question.
When was the last time someone did it, Shorey?
I don't know, but we'll look it up in the record books.
Yeah.
That's got to be a record, boys. 2 in 2 minutes. You're kidding, aren't you?
By the same man.
Well, that's what we mean. Camera really kicks in.
Well, I'll try to clarify it for the viewers.
Goes for Porter. Clarify it for you. 10-4 to 9-4.
It'll teach me to get involved.
You're working beautifully, Fish.
So a goal. It's been a big day for Paul Salmon. Made his first cup of coffee for his entire life at halftime.
Don't say that.
It's true. Hickmott takes the mark. Blues starting to move it again. A high one. Whitnell just couldn't get there. Hurt. Had such an impact on the ball in the second quarter. Looks like he's lined up to do the same across half back in this quarter. Jacobs. Second possession for Danny Jacobs. Carosella scooting away. Aligns himself with Lloyd. One-on-one. Manton. He's just got a thing on Lloyd, hasn't he? He's got the ability to spoil him. Houlihan. Jacobs should be able to come in here. Just a bit of a fumble and the ball out of bounds.
The ball handling's been pretty good in the slippery conditions early in this third quarter, so it hasn't had a huge impact yet, the weather. But I tell you, speaking of huge impacts, Hurd continues on his merry way, so... And he's still
loose, isn't he?
He's still loose, so it's an interesting situation here for the Blues.
Actually, Beaumont now just pushing back on him, it looks like. McKay. He tried to pinpoint Beaumont, but he missed completely. Solomon, Jacobs, Herb was waiting, went for the quicker kick down to Lloyd. Manton could do nothing about that. On a dry day, Lloyd right within range here just.
Well, he backed himself in, didn't he, earlier in the game from about this distance at the other end, Hutto. So it looks like he's going to be confident. Inside 50s in this quarter already. Essendon 5 to Carlton's 2. And this is, if you're a forward line player, that's just a wonderful example of how to position yourself when the ball's up the field so that you can get those kicks dropping short. And sure, in these conditions, you're going to get more of them, aren't you?
Yep. You've got to play in front. Ratton's still going with Hurd behind play.
He's got the distance, but he's missed fairly conclusively away to the left. So the Bombers, continuing to pepper the goals. Camporelli would go short to Rice. Kuda makes a lead. Goes even shorter than that to the outer side. Ratton, Silvani in attendance. Can push up on the wing where Lappin's leading against Heffernan. He goes for the one-on-one contest. Lappin was in front, used the body, but couldn't pull the mark in. And Houlihan, and it's out.
Yeah, sure. I think Sheeds will be very disappointed because 4 opportunities already this quarter, all of them gettable. None of them weren't impossible shots, were they?
And 2 posters. So there's a bit of a film of paint could be the difference man affecting the game.
Porter, double tap, Johnson. All Carlton, Silvani. Got a really cool bounce. Some heavy shepherding going on. Moorcock just tried to jump over it. He's done that a couple of times this year. Now, Manton must have gone for the boundary line with that kick. He was never going to make it from there, ever. Carosella goes short into the pocket. The bounce vital there for Jacobs. Waited, and then a man popped up, and it was Johnny Barnes.
Look at this forward 50. It is just cluttered at the moment, and there's no space. There's some futile leads going on.
Lloyd made a lead. Now he leads into the pocket. Barnes ignores it. Jacobs back in the square. Carosella a marking option down there. And in the end, Fletcher's fist took it through for a behind.
What about that kick, Shorey? Barnes has either backed himself in to kick the goal, but you would argue that top of the goal square might have been a better option.
Yep. Well, if you put it on the line, it's easy to punch through. The top of the goal square, the defenders are under enormous pressure. 5 points are kicked in this quarter.
Wellman spoiling Whitnell successfully. And the ball out of bounds. Was touched, so we'll see a throw in.
This happens a lot in modern day football, doesn't it, Fish? You dominate the play and then it goes up the other end quickly and someone scores a goal. 5 points they've kicked, 2 posters, so they haven't made the most of their opportunities.
Just watching here, boys. Ramanaskis has gone the full forward, picked up by Craig Bradley.
Bolton doing the ruck work. That time for the Bombers. Cooter helped it on its way. McVeigh right by Camporelli's side again. And it's out of bounds.
The start of the game is interesting. There's nothing in it on the scoreboard, but Essendon, for the better part of the last half an hour of the game, has been the dominant side. It's just that they haven't been able to wrest control, and it's just going to be a next critical 5 or 10 minutes in this game to sort it out, I believe.
Big third quarter from the MCG. Sunday footy on 7. At the moment, the champs are down by 4, and that's a throw against Joe Mercedes. McKay gave it to Ratton without really looking what was around him. It might spell trouble. Mansfield had it dislodged. Bomber fans wanted to throw. Couple of crucial fumbles. Then a slip over. Fletcher went to ground. Now it lets the Blues in. Freeborn had Hickman on. Goes longer for Porter. The big body of Porter. Spoiled from Heffernan was wonderful. Lappin tackle again. Great desperation by the Bomber defence. Whitnell came in. And it might have been a free against Whitnell. Instead, Camporelli kicks the goal.
Oh, sure, you might want to repeat what you just said a few moments ago about all that peppering away and the opposition make you pay. And there was a fumble by Mercedes up on the wing just before this. Then Fletcher slipped over. Ball came forward. Porter slipped out the back very well indeed. And that's a good spoil by Heffernan there. He's done a good job. And
Whitnell comes in there, pressures.
With a bit of luck there. And a great finish by Camporelli. The Bombers are paying, or have paid just then, for a few misses early in this quarter.
How do you feel if you're Mark McVeigh? You've kicked the 2 behinds, hit the post twice, and then your opponent goes down and kicks that goal against the trend of, or the flow of the play.
It's a cool game, Shuri.
It is.
Some credit to Lance Whitnell too for that. His part in that last goal. 10 points the difference. Porter wins it out of the middle. Hurd. Amazing that he could be that loose. Mercedes punched away. McKay. Rice. Freeborn. Cooter was on with the run. He'll have to go again with a handball. Houlihan can run to 50 himself. Had no one to go to. He's gone. Holding the ball, advantage paid. Kicked it quickly. Hurd, McKay to spoil. Did that well. Gets it to the line. Jacobs, he was tackled as well. Cooter starting to have an impact. Couple of little handballs, pretty good. And Freeborn's kick this time is better. And Whitnell takes the mark and gets some treatment from Fletcher. Almost daring the umpire to pay 50. Whitnell kicks quickly, very low. Wasn't great delivery. Lappin really good in these confined spaces. Matty Lappin! Oh, that is as good as it gets! That is amazing. That is just amazing.
I was just going to say, great trap. But he's not only trapped it, sure, he's finished it off. I can't believe what I saw there. This kick forward by Whitnell was a scrabber, wasn't it? Look at this for a trap. Controlled it.
Oh.
No, that's not possible.
I don't believe in turning points in a game.
Bit of rumping.
That was important. I was just going to say, Ryan Houlihan's probably got his ambitions mixed up with his capabilities on a couple of times in this quarter. Well, that man hasn't. Matty Lappin. You just need those at certain times. And again, against the flow of play.
Well, makes it 16 points the difference. And Carlton are going to get the centre clearance. McKay steamrolling down the ground. A wobbly old kick gives Fletcher a chance for the Bombers. He's under pressure here. They're starting to run again, the Blues. Hurd just waited. He waited well. It was a great decision. Solomon, low kick. Jacobs didn't go. Allowed Lloyd to come in and take the mark. And again, he's right on the edge of his distance here.
He's been forced out up the ground a bit, hasn't he?
He has, all day.
Might be opportunities closer to goal.
He has been. I don't think he's been forced. I think Kevin Sheedy has said they just weren't getting enough out of him by having him deep. They needed someone across half forward because Lucas hadn't done it.
Well, he's
so
starting
deep.
Yeah, but
he's starting about 25 metres out and leading up where he was normally starting in the square.
Boys, the lights are on here, boys, and Joe Mercedes just had a bit of a spell as he goes past me.
Matthew Lloyd from outside 50. Just away, a pick to the right, it's swinging back. Oh, there it is again.
What do you know?
That is unbelievable. 3 1/4.
Is that a record?
Is that a record?
That's 2 by one bloke and 1 by Lloyd.
No, is it 3 posters in a certain amount of time? That's the record.
I tell you, 7 shots at goal, 7 behinds. This could be costly.
Camberelli out wide. Mansfield takes the mark. Blues can hardly believe their luck at the moment. 3 posters for the Bombers, and in the meantime they've kicked a couple of great goals. Hurd continues to amass possessions. One of the highest possessions games from him. 21 so far. Up to 50, and we're only just after half-time. Jason Johnson wheeling through the pack, and he misses as well.
Well, I'll tell you what, we were just speaking 5 minutes ago about the points in the next 5 or 10 minutes. A couple of goals by Carlton. Bombers still peppering the points. They are getting opportunities, so they've just got to persist through it, and the goals will come. But from a first half of 9-1 to now 9-8.
Silvani, the margin 14 points, halfway stage of the third quarter. The Bombers hit back hard in the second quarter, got to within 2 points, but a Hickmott goal on half-time, and then a couple of goals since has given Carlton the impetus. Porter was strong, Barnes right there with him, Lappin had a magnificent game, kicked 3 goals. Whitnell and Wellman. How have you read that battle, Shorey?
I think Wellman's won it, but hasn't been a dominant player as he normally is, because Whitnell's making him contest the ball. You don't want Sean Wellman playing across half-forward flank, half-back as a loose man.
Wellman 8 possessions, 2 marks. Whitnell 7 possessions and 6 marks.
Bolton just coming on for Barnard. Oh, sorry, Bolton just coming off for Barnard to come on the ground now.
Camberelli waded through the traffic pretty well, and his delivery was excellent for Jimmy Plunkett. Now the lead made by Fletcher. Lappin leads into the square. Whitnell's down there one-on-one with Wellman. Plunkett goes for Lappin actually. Why not? Back a good thing. He is at the moment. No free kick. Wellman. Bombers had a lot of time. They took too long. Heffernan gave it up. Big chance for Carlton. Oh, Ratton. Handball straight to Fletcher. Mistakes everywhere down there at the moment. And eventually Heffernan able to get it towards the line. Barnard thought about whether to keep it in or not. He thought he might have gone over the line. Jacobs coolly puts it for McGrath, but he couldn't do anything with it.
Well done.
Good tackle, McGrath, but Silvani found McKay, who knew he could find a path through. Didn't have a shot, went for Lance at the back. Cooter forced tonight, Ratton to put the pressure on. Had Hurd on his inside, Johnson on his outside. Wasn't a bad pair to choose from. Went for Barnes. He's going to keep running here, Johnson, to make a lead out to the wing. Barnes doesn't go for him. Brings it in for McGrath. Got a couple of runners with him. Hardwick receives through the middle. They're running everywhere. It's a vacant 50. Gary Moorcroft's got the run. Lloyd goes. Oh, they can share it. Lloyd takes it. Just thought for a moment that was going to be set up for another Moorcroft hanger.
Yeah, fair enough too. There's a bit of flight in that ball. But it was Lloyd on this occasion. That's a very strong mark in a packed situation there, and the Bombers really needed to make the most of this opportunity. Look at that, Manton's doing everything he can to make it as hard as he can for Lloyd, but he's come to the fore this quarter, hasn't he, Matthew Lloyd?
He's been starved of opportunities during the whole game, but every time the ball's gone in his area, you'd have to say he's had the better of Manton in the one-on-ones. Just the other thing, the defensive work by Essendon under enormous pressure deep in defence was fantastic. Kept the ball alive. Well, they didn't mean to keep the ball alive, but they cleared it well under enormous pressure.
7 consecutive behinds for Essendon. Matthew Lloyd. Will it be 8th time lucky? Only just. He gets it in.
I'll tell you, the way the goal umpire was tracking right there, well, don't tell me, but he has just got it through. That's a relief for all and sundry in the Bomber camp, as this transition from their defensive 50 was as clinical as we've seen it today. And Hardwick did the right thing, put it up high and long to the hot spot. Moorcroft was in Plum's position, but Matty Lloyd, who can blame him, backed himself. Good goal.
So 68-76, Porter has a rest. He's worked hard for the Blues, taken 4 marks and had 10 possessions. Freeborn had to release it with lots of Bombers lurking. Barnard always under pressure. Gave it up. Fletcher, quick kick out wide to the wing. Jacobs stretching out. Had to go backwards to Hurd. Had nowhere to go. Hickmott runs him down. He was on the ground already. Interception from Camberelli. It's out of bounds.
Well, young Jackson has done the right thing. He's given it to his skipper, but I think he sold him into a bit of trouble there, didn't he, Shorey?
I think that's a senior player dominating the younger player, saying, give it here, son, I want another stat. He wasn't in the greatest of positions then. I used to do it myself, Fish.
Allen in front. Ratton, Hurd right on him. Jimmy Plunkett did well to get the ball out for Beaumont, who took time to size up the situation. Allen bangs away. Heffernan to try and spoil. Oh, yeah, points him that time. Didn't spoil. Uses Solomon on the way out. Now Caracella to run against Franchina. Great battle between the two. Caracella paddling. Harassment was pretty good that time from Franchina. Didn't panic.
I like that move from Kevin Sheedy. Caracella now is playing as a small forward. At least if he gets the ball 2 or 3 times, he might kick a goal. In defence, he's not going to do that, Fish.
No, he's very clean around his toes too. He's shown already this quarter.
Don't forget i7sport.com.au. Chat room tonight at 7:30 with one of the Channel 7 commentators. McGrath escapes, wobbles one in towards centre half forward. Wasn't a great kick. Bradley under pressure, but he did well. Fletcher, free kick against Lloyd.
Oh, the foot's out.
Oh, he's been booked. He has been reported, and Michael Mansfield gets in there to let him know all about it. Lloyd looks a bit bemused by the whole thing.
Well, it didn't look like there was much in it. The umpire certainly thinks so. Let's have a look again. He's fed it off Fletcher. Oh, look out.
I'd say he's in a bit of trouble.
Bit high.
Yep. They don't like the arms raised.
How many fingers were you showing then?
Just a couple, I'd say.
He missed.
But I was giving a sign to someone down in the crowd there, Fish.
Oh, of course you were.
He got 1 game suspension earlier in the year against Carlton.
And nearly he had his arm raised on that occasion, but didn't look good then.
Fletcher to the wing. Good spoil from Allen. Might just add an extra bit of spice to the game as if it needed. Any hotting up. Camporelli getting it moving.
Oh.
Push out against Solomon.
He's had a shocker today, Dean Solomon.
He's had 12 possessions, but Hickmott's been had over 20. Gets it in. Barnard. Was that a shove? No, it wasn't. And Forster Knight takes it over the boundary line.
No, it was good from the umpire there. It was a good decision. Sauce knows all the tricks. And I think he just tried to pull one there. He's certainly been weighed on from behind, but umpire showed very good discretion on that occasion.
Beaumont still running with Hurd.
Whitnell doing the ruck work. Ratton. Mansfield. Wobbly kick. Free kick. Hardwick it was, who was off briefly a few moments ago, but back on. Quickly the switch for Barnard, who's having to do some work in defence. So they're starting to get this loose man running out of defence now, the Bombers. McVeigh looks up, all their men are manned up. So he goes long to a contest, won't get to Lloyd. It's Franchina and Caracella again. Hurd, look at the way he tried to control it, get it to a teammate. He's going to get a free kick out of it. Or is the free going to go to Ramanauskas? No, it's going to Hurd. He's too far out to score. Moorcroft is down there. He leads. Lloyd doubles back and then leads again into the pocket and got away from Manton that time. It was clever enough, and he's not banned from this side either.
No, he'll back himself in, and so he should. There's been a couple of standouts for both sides, hasn't there, Tony? And Hurd's one, Hickmott's the other. Ratton's been good. And this guy is threatening.
I'll tell you what, Fish, it's been a while since the crowd started to boo Matty Lloyd. I reckon it'll be about 75,500, I reckon, here today. Great crowd.
That's his 5th mark in this quarter, so every time the ball has come to him, he's had an impact.
In fact, Dougie, the last time 9 times these sides have met, they've attracted more than 60,000.
Matthew Lloyd, it's a big kick for the Bombers, and he is the man for the occasion. Lloyd kicks his 3rd.
Well, this is just, look, the plot just thickens, doesn't it, in this game, because although the Bombers arguably have had the better of Carlton for the better part of 1.5 quarters, the Blues still have the lead. And they could have looked like they were kicking themselves out of the game early in this quarter, but Matthew Lloyd stood up with a couple of goals. And it's now on for young and old.
So a big day for Lloyd now. 3 goals and a report. 2 points the difference. Carlton at Essendon, another classic. What a great rivalry it's been in recent years between these two sides. Freeborn working hard for it. Koutafidis Brian Sheehan lets it all go. Now a bounce.
A big turning point in the game. We're nearly 24 minutes into this quarter. Brett Ratton's had 3 possessions this quarter when he's had 20 odd possessions for the game in the first half. So young Forster Knight's done a great job to quell his influence.
Steve Silvani, boys, too, gone the full forward, picked up by Barnard.
It's taken them 30 minutes to get back to where they were just before half-time, Essendon. That is 2 points in arrears of Carlton. Hickmott around the body. Whitnell down there. Fletcher tracking back.
Oh, that's a free kick against Wellman. And the umpire's seen it in the back.
Fletcher takes his time to hand it back to Lance. Let's have another look. Yep, that was it there.
So Lance is holding up all right, isn't he?
Yeah, he's going well. He's gone for a talk. It's a bit of a mongrel. Gets right to the square. Barnes late on the scene. Free kick to Silvani. No, against Silvani. He can't believe it.
Now, if that was Steve Silvani at full back, the other end of the ground, I reckon he would have got a free kick.
Well, as great a champion as this guy is, he runs the gauntlet. Certainly one-on-one. There's few better in a...
Oh.
Well, I don't know.
They're both holding each other, Fish. Just shows you what being at a different end of the ground counts, doesn't it?
Sounds like you still owe him a few from your career.
Oh, does it? I didn't mean it to. He's certainly had to tuck myself in after a few tussles with Sauce from a day.
Mansfield was third in line then to make the spoil. Fair bit going on. Hickmott had 3 players around him. He's had 25 possessions today, Adrian Hickmott.
It's just been an enthralling game, hasn't it? The matchups, one-on-ones, have just been fantastic, and the closest to the score, of course.
Barnes fell over, that's the way the umpire read it. Ramanaskas under pressure from Mansfield. He rode him a little bit. Bradley lurking around the 50, tries to get through. Camporelli under pressure. Bradley kept on going, but he just couldn't get it to anyone of significance. Barnard coming in to take the mark.
Gee, McVeigh's sweating on Camporelli, and we've said it enough already, but he's doing a wonderful job.
Ramanaskas. Camporelli has 13 possessions, 12 kicks and 1 handball. Goes backwards. Just a little window of opportunity then for Houlihan. Just a little bit out of his reach. Here's McVeigh running wide. He's got Mercury and Barnes over the top. He can loop it to either player. Waits and then goes for Mercury, who can go for Johnson if he moves it quickly. Does that. So they've got it to the wing, the Bombers. Lappin's run back to be an extra man in defence for Carlton. Goes short into the space for Hurd. Couldn't get there. Gives Carlton a chance now. Oh, a fumble from Prendergast, but he gets support. Good kick too from Beaumont. Matty Allen pushing forward.
Hurd's still down. Hopefully it's just cramp.
Essendon have got an extra man inside the 50. They're going to need him here. It's Wellman. Comes into play to try and spoil Prendergast, and he doesn't even bother spoiling. Takes the mark instead. No, not paid. Out of bounds.
Lance Whitnell, boys, on the bench, had a bit of a spell, of course, coming back from that knee injury.
There's James on screen. He was down after that contest and cramping. He's covered a lot of territory, hasn't he?
Well, he wouldn't have played in the centre of the ground as much as he had in this game, I don't think, Fish, for a long time.
Fletcher with the tap. Lappin. Heffernan still playing on Lappin.
Do you think, sure, if we see the Bombers get their noses in front, the complexity could change a little bit, could shift, because the Blues have been so dogged, haven't they? They've kept their lead for so long.
Yeah, look, it's like that goal on half-time. How much did the emotion last for?
Yeah.
Good tap. They've just been at them all day, haven't they?
That's what I loved about this game, that they haven't broken the one-on-ones, and Solomon, he's had a bad day, but he keeps at it. You can see Hickmott and Adrian Hickmott having a go here, and they're still at it. Now, Solomon's got to watch the ball here, concentrate on the ball.
Kuda. Hickmott, Mercury, got a little slipper to it, just enough to get it outside 50. McGrath rode it and then gave it to McVeigh. Camporelli turned defender, Caracella, quick kick Morkov. It's open right up here for the Bombers. That was a great touch. That was a great touch. Mercury's kick is right on line. Oh, a fumble from Ramanaskas, and he's gone. He went to ground. Play on, fair call. Caracella stumbled into Fletcher. Ball up.
Well, Ramanaskas is asking for a free kick of the umpire, and he said that he ducked his head. I agree with the umpire, or slipped under Bradley. Yeah, look, there's nothing in that. I think you've got to call it one hand, though, Fish.
I wouldn't have paid it. I wouldn't have paid the free, but Ramanaskas asked the question about over the shoulder.
In the context of this game and how hard it's been.
I agree.
A lot of players around the ball. Ramanaskas won the tap. Fletcher was behind the contest. Kicked it out for Houlihan versus Hardwick. Houlihan always had position. He maintained position. Mansfield runs for him. Ignores Mansfield. Hickmott leads. Oh, he goes longer than that. Kuda came out, did everything but take the mark. Wanted a handball initially. Lappin has to work hard. He won't get there. Barnard. He's got McGrath breaking for him. He's got enough space and the kick's accurate enough to take it. Got nothing on over the top. Goes for no, he goes shorter. Moorcroft. Hurd's back in almost the goal square. Jacobs can kick it long. Oh, it's going to be out of his reach, you would think.
He's got to torp it.
Yes, this will test him. I think he doesn't look, you can tell he's not really backing himself in.
This is that kick to put him in front.
Nothing to lose. And it's a bit of a scrubber.
Oh.
He's trying to shepherd it through.
Nice try, James. So, after all that, Essendon gained 6 points. And they trail still, but just by 2. Maybe that quarter was the calm before the storm. Let's hope so.
This AFL telecast proudly brought to you by Philips Widescreen, the new shape of TV. Harvey Norman. There's a store near you. And the all-new Nissan Pulsar. Just wait till you drive it. The Ashes.
Marvellous shot.
It's the very spirit of cricket. Australia and the old enemy England in the battle for the Ashes. The third test.
That's the killer blow.
Beautifully bowled.
Well, in this time, that's through.
Australia have held the Ashes since 1989. Will Steve Waugh's men retain the old urn, or can England claw back some pride? The Ashes. Relive all the third test highlights from Trent Bridge. Saturday morning on C7 Sports.
あの人誰？
日産の新しいパルサーハッチのデザイナーの一人。
彼、意外よね。
車はもっとすごいのよ。
The all-new Pulsar hatch. Just wait till you drive it.
The big news at Harvey Norman is 24 months interest-free terms. That's right, 24 months interest-free terms on electrical appliances, computers and accessories. Now's the time to buy a TV, video, stereo, video camera, fridge, freezer, washer, dryer, computer, printer, fax machine, photocopier or mobile phone. What a deal. 24 months interest-free terms available now on electrical appliances and computers from Harvey Norman.
So we're ready for the last quarter. Carlton hanging on to a 2-point lead. They've been in front almost all day. And there's been a lot going on the ball and off the ball. And it will continue through this last quarter. Solomon just banging in quickly. Lloyd has had a big day. He's kicked 3 goals, but he's been reported. Couldn't take it. Fletcher, they're controlling it all right. Freeborn took a long time to release the kick. He was waiting till Hickmott was there for him. Used the body, but couldn't take it. Solomon got a couple on. Hurd's gone down. He looks hurt.
He's in a bit of trouble down here, boys. It looked like it may be an ankle. Yeah, in a lot of trouble.
It is too. That is big, big news in the football world, no doubt about that. Working his way through nicely under pressure now, Lucas.
Too high.
He's been carried off here, Hutto. Been carried from the ground here. He's in a lot of pain.
This is the story.
I feel like I can see from here his right ankle's really blowing up already.
What I don't like is the look on his face. You know that's pain, but it looks like anguish. He knows that something serious has happened there. Oh, he is in a lot of pain. Hate to see that. A champion player had an amazing impact on this game, especially in the second quarter.
And we know about these great injury battles that he had to overcome. Lucas, big kick meantime. Must be hard for the Bombers to concentrate, knowing they've just lost their skipper. Obviously, like us, not knowing for how long.
Well, look, they're a great side. Let's have a look at it here again. His eyes are on the ball all the way. There he goes. It's just been planted and maybe caught the base of Hickmott's foot as well. And yeah, he's in a lot of bother. That's a great shame. He's striking form today.
Yes, his game today, 23 possessions and 8 marks. Kudafiti's getting the Blues to half forward. Free kick, advantage, no advantage now. 1 point the difference at the MCG. James Hurd off injured.
I've been impressed by Prendergast.
Gets them inside 50, well judged by Wellman at the back. returned to his role as defender today after playing so much of the year up on the wing. And now he gets another possession again. Hardwick pushing it for Johnson. Haven't gained much ground, but they've been able to switch plays. Little bit more space out there, not a great deal.
No, it's not, Hutto. We look across the field, the wide expanses, and everyone's accounted for. Not a lot on offer.
Now the Blues have been so good at doing that all day.
It's just going to be, it's to some degree a war of attrition, isn't it, to the end of the day?
This. I'm loving this. You can still see the medical staff around James Hird. The boot comes off.
Yeah.
Let's just hope that he's okay.
Well, I'll tell you what, boys, I tipped the Bombers at 3/4 time. Now Hirdy's off the ground.
Come on, Hawk.
I'm going to stick with, no, I'm going to stick with them. No, I'm sorry, I will stick with the Bombers.
Barnes, gee, look at all the players around the ball. Masidi. Mansfield takes it out.
There's no shortage of Bomber players that can rise to the occasion, is there, sure, even with their skipper off the field. There's something on every line in this side. That's what makes it so great.
Well, when James Hird went off, who came on? Mark McCurry. So you'd love to have the Mercedes-Benz coming on the ground.
Ramanaskas, Camporelli. They're inside 50. It's in the hot spot. Lappin behind. More desperation shown by Hardwick. Got it towards the boundary. It was great play. Camporelli wants a free. And doesn't get it. Gee, I thought it could have been. It
could have been close.
He dived on it, Johnson, didn't he?
Yes, and he pulled it underneath him. We've seen two of them today. Camporelli thought he had the free kick.
Here it is. Oh, he's got possession there.
Can he get rid of this, Fish? It's underneath. He attempted to. Yeah, probably a good decision by the umpire in the end.
Carlton hanging on by 1 point. Barnes, Ratton, McKay. Ratton! He kicked the brilliant one last week. And he couldn't nail that one off the left boot. Out on the fall, he's missed the lot. So still the margin is 1 point. Early in this last quarter, Matthew Lloyd reported James Hird off injured. Suddenly, the whole equation for Essendon becomes tougher, not just in this game, but in the weeks ahead. Prendergast, good work, in close with the hands. McKay into a big maze of players. Ratton, the man for the job in a maze of players. Beaumont collided with his teammate. The desperation of the Blues. Lappin, a quick kick. It's in there. The force denied. Work back onto it. Makes his first mark and has his first kick for the day. Masidi getting it moving. This man keeps on running, keeps on charging Jason Johnson. Danny Jacobs has got the run. Oh, he's got it! He had the run. He could have taken the ride, but he didn't. He kept his feet on the ground and backed himself and outmarked Fletcher.
Well, he's a very talented footballer, Danny Jacobs, and you're quite right, Hutto. He had the run. He could have sat a little bit, checked his stride and taken the leap, but he didn't. Here it was, the option. There he's checked, he stepped into it. Fletcher was all over the shop there, and he just didn't have the flight of the ball in his favour.
Looks like Beaumont's in trouble too, boys, from Carlton, just limped off the ground.
To put the Bombers in front, Danny Jacobs does the job. He gets the job done.
Well, has Beaumont gone out in sympathy for James Hird? It's almost as if, okay, you're off, I can follow. Let's hope he's okay, of course. Let's have a look at this mark again. Masidi, who hasn't had a big day, has he? Sure, but he's fed the ball out to Johnson.
And just see a little bit of deja vu because young Simon Fletcher was involved in that mark when Ben Dixon marked right on the siren last week.
Big goal for Danny Jacobs. He's kicked only 6 for the year, been in defence most of the season. The Bombers are in front. First time since early in the first quarter. A decisive tap out of the middle from Barnes. McGrath just hesitated. Franchina, well tackled. The pressure growing. Mansfield, umpire blown the whistle already.
Well, here's a test for the Blues. As you said, Hutto, they have been in front since early in the first, and now in the last, and, well, can Essendon go on with it? Now they've got their noses in front. But the Blues have been sensational all day.
Porter. Oh, Solomon gave the chance for this man. Jason Johnson runs in and misses. Gee, the crowd was up behind the goals.
Well, it's just been a classical game of footy. I think there's been some highlights, hasn't there? But in terms of a football lover's game,
first half was great, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Since then, it's been a real wrestle, a slog. The first half had a lot of finals about it, and in a way, this has continued.
I think Dougie's right, though, when you look at the players who have come back, Whitnell, Porter, is that going to tell them in the end? Will they have enough fitness to run the game out, the Blues?
Well, Fletcher's going with Kudafidis all around the ground now in this last quarter on the ball.
Fletcher, McVeigh just got it released. This is the other Fletcher. Jacobs was ready to pounce. McKay in a tight squeeze. Silvani stretched the hand pass well for Camporelli. They've got the link man. It's Manson. Nothing much on from Houlihan, leads across half-back. So he uses Camporelli while they wait. And they've worked the loose man pretty well. Dean Rice looks up. Hickmott demands it at half-forward. Doesn't kick it to him. Now Whitnell has to double back and Prendergast. Good spoil by the Bombers. Heffernan, Lappin, right by his side. And out of bounds.
Well, that was a waste of a bounce. When Dean Rice, Lappin was 30 yards in front of his man running back towards goal, kick over the top, and Heffernan's out of play. He took the bounce. It means that all the Essendon players could get back in defence.
Well, amazingly, Carlton haven't scored since 12 minutes into the third quarter, and that changes in the most amazing way.
Well, I said look out for the simple reason Ravanaskas was very preoccupied with his opponent and actually did the job, pushed him under the ball, but way too far under the ball. And as we watch the replay here, out of the ruck contest, Porter's been good, Franchina, quick kick. Beautiful football. And there is Ravanaskas. He just had paid a bit more attention to the flight of the ball. He would have had that covered. Unfortunately, for the Bombers at least, the Blues have snatched the lead back.
A little bit of luck goes a long way, doesn't it, Franchina? And also Matthew Lappin's goal, I think, was in the third quarter off the ground.
Scores level at the MCG. What a contest. Barnes out of the middle. Massini took the time, but his kick didn't reflect that. Jacobs, bit of a wild card up forward. Got rid of Fletcher, then went backwards. Carasella didn't pump it long. Went for Massini, didn't try and take the mark. And in the end, it didn't really work for him.
Matthew Lloyd is waving to his teammates saying, for goodness sake, pump it in, give me a chance, one-on-one with Manton. I've been all right since half-time, fellas. But they insisted on trying just to spot up and finesse a little bit outside of 50, and it's
that's true.
Could cost him.
Again, lots of players around the ball. Barnes, McCurry, Johnson, Porter, Lucas, Barnard. Standing start from Barnard, didn't make great contest. Here's Lloyd,
Ooh.
Just couldn't take it.
Well done by Manton on that occasion. He was out-bodied, well, he's still sitting down. Thankfully that he didn't mark that ball. Well done in a one-on-one. He's been beaten a few times like that.
So 12-11 plays, 13-4. Such has been the accuracy of Carlton. Essendon kicked 7 consecutive behinds in the third quarter before they kicked a goal. That was not a great kick.
Well on Hardwick. He left his man Houlihan to come across. That's why Johnny Barnes is pleased with his effort. Look, even the kick-ins, it's all man on man. So they're going to the wire, aren't they, Tony?
It's fantastic.
Hardwick having him to say too to Michael Mansfield. 14 possessions for Damien Hardwick. Essendon leading by a point. Last quarter from the MCG. And it's a real struggle at the moment.
Well, if people are worried about the price for finals tickets going up, Fish, as in round 17, some of the classic games we had last week, and we've had this game, you would pay $100 and more to see a game of football in a grand final.
Only
especially
for as
like
wealthy
this.
as you, Tony. You'd have the money.
Think internationally, Fish. That's nothing, $100.
You're right on one count. We have been really treated the last couple of weeks to some great football.
Houghton back on for the Blues. Fletcher off, so they've made a change back there. Hardwick couldn't hang on to it. He's got plenty of time for his teammates, though. Solomon back into a big maze of players. Good strong work from Porter. Silvani swooping nicely. Lappin as it opens up for the Blues. Barnard buffeted off it. Whitnell trying to control it. Hickmott has been so good today. And this one is just offline.
Leave me alone, Shorey. I'm getting bashed up here. That was a whisker. And gee, wouldn't that have made a difference? But level picking again.
Fletcher, a thumping kick in, right to the wing. Wellman doubling back, couldn't take it. Mercedes, great work with the hands to get it out wide. Great tackling from Franchina, doing what he does best. Houghton waited before handballing. I'm sure the boundary line will be Prendergast's target.
You know, a drawn game might even do this game justice,
yes.
Shorey.
75,873 people watching. Scores
crowd.
level, 13-5 to 12-11. Barnes in front. Good tap. Well, it wasn't a good tap because Silvani roved it. Kicked it inside 50. Gives Ritnell a chance. Had nowhere to lay it off to. Lappin ran out of room. And don't forget i7sport.com.au and see all the ramifications from this game on the ladder, all the reports, and you'll see Matthew Lloyd's name has gone into the book and the injuries. And James Hurd's name in there if you've just joined us. Hurd going down with a leg injury. Looked like an ankle.
But both coaches will get a lot out of this. There's Hurdy on screen there, not comfortable at all. And some of the issues I'm referring to is forcing nice jobs on Ratton McVeigh's on Camporelli for 2.
Free kick, there's a whistle. Essendon free kick. Going to Blake Carosella, who gets up a little uncomfortably.
You talk about emotion in this game with Craig Bradley 350th, whether the Carlton players left. They're not thinking about that out there, are they, Fish?
Oh, no, it would be playing on the mind at the moment. They're just doing whatever they can to win this game.
Wouldn't they love to get across the line for him, though, having said that?
That is it, right.
Forster Knight got some space to work in on the wing. Plenty of players across the 50 for the Bombers. Lloyd looks dangerous. He just couldn't get there. Porter, desperation. Lappin had the man running out. It's Camporelli having to go backwards. Silvani played a great sweeping game as the game has continued. Out wide for Houlihan. Needed a kind bounce. Got the most cruelest bounce of all time. And McGrath makes them pay. Great kick by the Bombers. They lead by a goal. That was cruel.
Wasn't it? It was great composure under a lot of pressure. That young man there has been introduced to league football this year and has really made a mark and shown the football world that he's got something to go on with. There's Sylvania cross goal, always risky, isn't it? And the bounce there just caught Houlihan, a good feed and good composure, good steady stuff from the young bloke. Now only a goal of difference, exciting stuff.
You can see Wayne Britton there, he'd be saying, well, Sauce, you're going to take the risk of kicking across goal. You've got to make the distance. Maybe a bit tired. The older legs there just couldn't get enough on that ball. But a costly error at a time when, they're still right in this game, though.
Back to a 6-point margin in favour of the Bombers. Camporelli, they're still having an influence in the middle. Ratton, Camporelli and Bradley. Not as much as earlier on, but they're still in amongst it. 6 points the difference. James Hurd off injured, 23 possessions. McVeigh's had 11. Wellman 11. 20 for Jason Johnson, 15 Barnard, 11 for Lloyd and 3 goals too. Mercedes 13, Carosella 17, Dustin Fletcher 14.
Gee, they're still verbalising out there. It's just been a great game physically, but they're still mentally involved too.
Yep.
Halfway stage of the last quarter. Barnes a little deft touch. Forster Knight. Quick kick McKay. Gets them forward. Fletcher in best position. One-on-one against Kuda, who kept his legs and got the ball loose. Ratton. Oh, Mercury, well done. High tackle. He ducked a little bit, but it was certainly high. Oh, he handballed it. Barnard off half-back. Thumps it long and high. Jacobs, Solomon. No one really looked likely to take the mark. Lucas, late on the scene. Hickmont worked him out of it. Moorcroft. Hickmont again. Boundary line looming. It's not out yet. Ramanauskas, it is out.
Talk about some of those players. Ratton had 20 possessions in the first half. He's had 6 in the second. And Hickmont's had 20 in the first, had 4 in the second. So their impact's been quelled fairly well by the Essendon side.
Porter. And again, Jacobs doing the ruck work. Jason Johnson, nothing effective about that. Mercury, always effective. McGrath, Ramanauskas, it's a wobbly one. Designed for Barnes, but Silvani got back. 6 points still the margin. The Blues trying to get some run. Camporelli, oh dear! Matthew Lloyd gets a gift. You couldn't kick it to a worse man. They put a bow on it, and he kicks the goal.
Well, I'm not just saying this gratuitously. I was just about to make mention that a goal here to the Bombers in this passage of play would prove pretty costly in the context of the game so far. But I wasn't expecting this, sure. A Camporelli skill error.
Well, you can see why Sauce gave the ball off. Steve Silvani, he's kicked before, he'd be lacking confidence, gives it to a generally good kick. On that occasion, just didn't work. Two bad mistakes.
Maybe the Blues have given it their all. Have they got anything left? 12 points the margin. Barnes, Bradley in game number 350. The skipper gets them inside 50, gives them a chance. Whitnell.
Well done.
Great courage from all players. Lappin, he's had a great role to play today.
Go in.
Oh, the luck that was with him earlier, just escaping on that occasion.
I don't like barracking, but I just want that to go in just for the game. They deserve it. This game deserves a close finish.
Lucas, who's covered a fair bit of territory this afternoon, she got very close to Franchina, and the kick was wobbly. Camporelli tried to make up for the last effort. McCurry's having a bit of an influence in Hurd since Hurd went off the ground. McGrath working hard. Oh, McKay was great. And now Matty Allen, we're going to get run down. Just got enough on it. Oh, sometimes a little bit of luck goes a long, long way. And Matty Allen, perhaps if he hadn't have been run down, his kick would have been marked by an Essendon player, but Franchina can have a shot for goal.
Yeah, he's been good, Matty. He's come back into footy only last week.
That was good.
That was good.
Andrew McKay.
It was good. He's, they can count on him for that sort of work. And there you go, the little fella Franchina in the right spot at the right time.
A few deep breaths there for Anthony Franchina. Kicked an amazing goal earlier. This is a more simple task. It's wobbly. He's got it. He likes it. It's through. They're back within 5. 3 goals for Anthony Franchina.
That's a good return, isn't it, for a guy who, for the most part of the day, has had a job to do. And 3 goals is a fantastic return. Only one man on the field, and Lloyd's kicked more than that. But there was that effort of Mackay's that Shorey was referring to. Matty Allen, just in time. Mongrel kick. Franchina in the breadbasket. And the Blues, only 5 points behind. Still on the edge of our seats.
Hadn't kicked a goal this year, Anthony Franchina, until today, and he's come up with 3. And suddenly the Blues are back in it again. It's down to 5 points. Barnes and Allen. Allen got the tap, but the Bombers get it forward. Not for long. Ratton, handball, bit of ping pong going in there. McKay, the stars have lifted all of a sudden for the Blues. Hickmont, Sullivan right on him, but he's got it, Hickmont. Wants to get up and keep it moving. Lucas has pushed back, Barnes has pushed back, because Allen is down there lurking for the Blues. Goes wide for Whitnell. Oh, he just couldn't take it with him. Lappin into the square, Barnes, and well done from Hardwick. Oh, he gave an extra crunch in the goal square to Prendergast, but the ball went over the line and out of bounds.
I think they would have rather the point there, Essendon, than to have a throw in, because a point didn't matter. They're still under a goal.
Yep.
Would have made it 4 points instead of 5. But now they've got an opportunity of scoring from this.
Plenty of time left in the game, Shorey, but the next goal, if it goes to the Blues, look out, free.
There's a little shove, but it was there. Well, it was in the back. Whether that was because Barnes turned his back or not, it was in the back. Hardwick clears it out wide. Lucas is the target. Whitnell just couldn't get there in time.
Good mark, wasn't it?
But Hutto, you just can't give a free kick on any occasion, even if he grabs the ball and then you can tackle him. To give a free kick and release the pressure from there, it's a little bit of lack of discipline. I know they're trying hard to win the game, but you just can't afford to do it.
Lucas gets it moving for the Bombers. Houghton didn't go for the mark and made sure at least that the ball was out of bounds.
It's a good result for the Bombers there. We've commented and complimented both sides on their accountability today so far, particularly the Blues.
Alessio back on for Barnes. Allen inside 50 for Carlton at the moment. Houghton doing the ruck work against Barnard. McKay been damaging in this last quarter. Quick kick from Freeborn. Lucas. They collided. Where's the old talk? It was missing on that occasion. Matty Allen running in ever diminishing circles. Beautifully tackled. And the Bombers might get away. Jacobs off the side of the boot. It was a pretty good kick under the circumstances. He had nothing further up the ground. Now they race for it. Ratton tracking the ball to the line. Just couldn't keep it alive, even though he had Cooter in support. Forster Knight went with him all the way. 5 points the difference.
Isn't this entertaining stuff? At those contests there, Allen had the run of the ball. He came back into traffic and was wrapped up, and this is fantastic football.
Beaumont a fumble. Caracella, a quick kick. Koutafidis floats it. Prendergast under pressure. Got it away to Jimmy Plunkett. He missed it. No free kick. Handball away from Jacobs. Alessio, watch out. Couldn't get through Fletcher. He's gone. Advantage paid. It's up to full forward. There's a big chance.
They've brought it back. No advantage there. They saw where the kick went. Two big men, Allen and Alessio, you just look like they're a bit rusty, haven't played a lot of football.
It's so important, sure, to keep it simple.
Yep.
Under pressure.
Distance.
Yep.
Whitnell wants it long. He wants it long. Allen. Oh! But it's a mark anyway. It's a mark anyway. Matthew Lappin. What an impact he's had today. 3 goals, 3. One of the greatest soccer goals you're ever likely to see from the forward pocket.
I tell you what, a lot of the demons of the past as he goes in to kick for goal.
Oh, gee, he made the goal umpire work for it. They're claiming it's a point. Hardwick reckons it's a point, but it's a goal. Hardwick arguing that it hit the post.
I'll tell you what. Look, you can't pick a trend. There's no point in even trying. This is a war of attrition. This is a game where both sides will arm wrestle to the end, and it's just going to be a toss of the coin who ends up in front. And that was a wonderful grab for a bloke who's strong overhead.
You just wonder whether the Blues can feel the other side of the coin from last week, Fish. They've been on the end of it, whether they can hang on.
Blues back in front at the MCG. Jason Johnson hasn't changed his work rate. Moorcroft couldn't handle it. McCurry pushed it wide, gives Carlton a chance. Good tackling by the Bombers. Massini had to get rid of it. All Carlton back there across half back. Ratton dragged down, desperation by McCurry. Prendergast measured the kick, got it right in the end. Yes, he did. Beaumont returned to the ground. Carlton hanging on by a point. We've got 24.5 minutes in this last quarter. And Carlton, they did it in round 3. Beaumont drives it long. Whitnell the target. Wellman. Whitnell kept on going. They forced it forward. Plunkett couldn't release the handball. That is tough stuff by Barnard.
Well, they're thinking now, Fish, if you're going to make a mistake, make sure it's a long one. You've got to get distance either end of the ground. Great tackle. That just shows, that typifies what has happened today for 100-odd minutes.
What a struggle it's going to be from here. Barnard, Whitnell, a fumble. Every mistake will cost. How much is the question? Whitnell goes in again, gets some support. Beaumont missed the target. Camporelli. And it's out of bounds.
Well, if the 70-odd thousand people don't stand up as one, no matter the result of this game, and clap these players.
I can assure you they won't. Not these two camps.
Barnard, Fletcher. Could be decisive, that tap. Wellman, suddenly it's in the Essendon forward line. Lloyd versus Madden and Silvani. He's bearing down on him, Lloyd. Madden did well. Silvani under pressure. Just got rid of it in time. Just in time. The pressure unbelievable. McKay out wide on hands and knees. Salance takes the mark and then waits. Moves it on. Gets them going. Camporelli. He's going to hold it up. They don't know how long there is to go.
No, they don't. It's a little bit too early. I'd suggest them starting to control the ball like this. But nonetheless, any second they can draw and use up will be valuable at the end of the day.
No one on the mark.
No one on the mark. So he can just play on and now wait. That's what he's going to do. Plays on and waits. Has a couple of... This is extraordinary scenes. Smart thinking in some ways.
He's taken 3 bounces for every metre he's walked.
Long kick to 50. Fletcher almost. Koutafidis. Anthony Koutafidis.
Oh,
what an impact. Lappin will take the mark. Does he go on? No, he doesn't. Anthony Koutafidis.
Well, where did he come from? Sure, he was in the crowd. Because how did he get on his own?
Matthew Lappin all on his own. And suddenly the Blues could lead by 7.
He must have been hiding in the flockers or something behind the goals, because I can't understand how he's on his own.
Well, Chris Heffernan has had the job. Whether they've changed Mercury to him in that stanza of play, I'm not too certain. But good play by Whitnell then, because he didn't have to kick the ball while no one was on the mark. But how could you get that clear?
This is his 9th shot at goal, Lappin. What a day out. Going for his 5th.
What a kick for Matthew Lappin. He's got it. He's done the job. They lead by 7. What an amazing game.
I'd love someone to tell me when the last time the Bombers lost 2 in a row was. There's still time for them, no doubt about that, but I'm just looking around the field now and see some of the Bomber boys. I saw a couple of heads drop. They don't know how long there is to go, of course. That was a wonderful kick inside 50. And then you had a panic, Lappin. Wow. Great stuff.
Ramanauskas is on Matthew Lappin at the moment, but he was nowhere to be seen then. Wayne Britton, along with his effort in round 3, it would be his most famous of victories, and boy do the Blues need it at this time of the year. It would consolidate their place in the 8, which has been under threat. This man in his 350th, Craig Braddles, taking his time, trying to run the clock down.
Well, he's got to set this up well, because Whitnell was on it, he turned around quick, but he's an experienced player. There's no doubt he knew what he was doing. He'll be told to kick the ball fairly quickly by the umpire, I'd say.
What an impact the loss of James Hird has had on this game.
Yeah.
His opposite skipper, Craig Braddles, goes for a
tall. Oh, look at that. That was beauty.
And it's out of bounds. No, is it out of bounds now? No, it's still not out of bounds. Barnard helped it along the line, and that'll help Essendon's cause, but they have to get it moving.
They need to find something. They need to do nothing else now but take some risks. There's nothing to lose. They're 2 scoring shots behind, of course. They need to find some space, find it quick.
Alessio, Ratton, forced denied, a bounce. The Blues trying to hold it up. 16-6, 102 to 14-11, 95. The Bombers suddenly vulnerable, especially without their captain James Hird, who looks injured. Matthew Lloyd on report. What a season it's been. And we've had some big matches at the MCG on Sundays in recent weeks. First there was the Kangaroos Bombers Classic, then there was last week's drama, and now this, the Bombers. Solomon under pressure, Houlihan out of bounds. It all suits Carlton. They're wrapping it up.
Well, they certainly are, Hutto, and they're doing it in fine style. They all day have been really committed to the task, very disciplined to the game plan. Hickmont's down. He's had a quiet patch in the second half, but he's even come to life in the last 10 minutes.
Well, I was in that marking contest against Solomon just before. He's a bit wobbly on the feet.
Alessio from behind. Bombers need to get a breakaway, but instead it's Beaumont, the man who was on Hird earlier. He misses the lot, so it gives Essendon still an opportunity.
We won't get too many more, Hutto. They've got to get forward.
Dangerous kick.
Oh, look out.
It was dangerous, but Barnard nowhere to go. Hooked it around the corner. McKay, he's played a grand last quarter, and he sees it safely to the line.
I think at that time when he attacked the ball at half forward, say 7 minutes ago, that nearly has turned the game also.
It was a turning point.
Fletcher from behind wins the tap. Essendon need to get it running. Maybe there's still a chapter to go in this game. McGrath just bombs for dear life. Houghton getting back there. Whitnell the spoil. Lloyd was circling. Released the handball for Bolton. Silvani, great desperation. Lloyd still trying. He's got to get it moving. Lucas is there. Went off the ground. Mercedes, he's got McGrath inboard. Can't get it to him. It's out on the full. It's out on the full. And the Bombers' hopes disappearing as that ball went over the line. There's no doubt that Glenn Manton will take a long time, or Stephen Silvani. Carlton leading by 7 points. What a win this is going to be for Carlton. So much has happened between these two sides in recent years. Of course, the famous preliminary final. Hard to ever top that for real drama. Earlier this year, amazing when Carlton won without their 3 stars. Whitnell.
He's been good.
He had the ball and kicked a huge goal in that match back in '99 in a similar position when they were kicking the other way late in the last quarter.
His 9th mark today, Haddo. He's come back into the team and...
The clock counts down. Carlton won! Carlton have won! Another famous win for Wayne Britton. The Blues have sealed their place in the 8 and they've beaten their most fierce of rivals in recent years. And a week is a hell of a long time in football for Wayne Britton.
Well, what a treat we've been served up today, Haddo. These two sides, we anticipated, we hoped for a big game today because they often deliver. And Wayne Britton would be very happy. Craig Bradley would be over the moon. 350 great games, and he did his job today. Wasn't one of his best. Far from it, I suppose you could say, but it didn't matter. 4 points is all that matters.
Let's get to Dougie.
Yeah, thanks, Haddo. Braddles, 350, mate. You couldn't have dreamed of a better win. It was a gutsy win, wasn't it?
Great win from the boys. Just kept at it, like last week, you know, we just kept at it. This week it went our way. It's a great win.
And Matty's lapping down there in your forward line, mate. He's one of a kind, isn't he? I mean, he just keeps bobbing up. He kicked 4 or 5 goals. It was brilliant for you.
Matty's second effort's down there. He's been great all year. You know, he's been a great player for us all year. And, you know, big game today and he stood up fantastic.
And Braddles, last one, mate. The way you're going, son, you're 38, 350. Welcome to the club, mate. You've been an absolute champion and a great victory.
Thanks, mate. Good on you, mate.
Good on you, Braddles. Well done. Well done, fellas. Thank you, boys. Great performance by the Blue Boys. Well done, Lappo. Terrific game.
Well done, Dougie. Amazing stuff. And tearing off Craig Bradley. What a contrast for the fans of these two sides. One limps off, one captain limps off. The other gets carried off.
This has been a C7 Sport presentation.